Okay, all right. Welcome to episode 63. And it's a beautiful spring day today. And we're joined by the simulcasting Sheldon Fogel.
Yeah.
He's in the middle of an operation. Once again, James Adams has returned, the third.
Oh, yeah.
And don't you forget, kind of like Lupin the third.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking about, the sun. It's going to be the fourth. Like the fourth Hokage.
Hey.
That's what we do, man.
And then we have, of course, my man Jake, who's better known as Jei-Kobu on
What's
Instagram.
up, guys? Jake, I'm going to name my son Jake, as in, Jake Jr. Second Hokage.
Second Hokage. The one who was incredibly racist.
My name is Jake, and this is Jake Jr.
Jake the second.
Thank you, man, for coming on.
Man, thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure.
No, seriously, it's awesome. And Jake he's a collaborator with James on a lot of the projects, but he's an artist in and of himself. You're would you call yourself a 3D animator or a 3D artist? What exactly do you do?
3D artist. I actually just recently got into animating, so maybe it'll turn into a 3D generalist, which is kind of just all around 3D. But right now, I'm 3D artist
And do you
and graphic designer.
Which is really cool, because obviously the reason you're on here is because I've been on your Instagram and I've seen all your really cool stuff, and James has talked really highly of you.
Awesome.
Do
You better have.
God damn.
So do you use Maya to model, or what software
Cinema
do you use?
4D, yeah.
Okay,
Cinema
Cinema
4D,
4D.
to model. I use a program called Daz 3D for any characters that are in my scenes, which is actually a free program.
Whoa.
Then I use Marvelous Designer for clothes, Octane Render for like the lighting and just like high level like look that it gives off, and then Photoshop and sometimes After Effects for like post edit. There's a lot of programs that go into it.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
which is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Are those all native to Mac, or the free ones you can get on PC?
I think you can. They're all accessible to Mac as well. I wouldn't know because I got a PC.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so
yeah.
you use After Effects on PC?
Yeah, well, not
what
for
I use.
video.
Okay.
I use Premiere for video. After Effects always gives me a hard time. I can go as far as like editing a photo in there.
Have you
or,
tried
like,
using Rush yet?
No, I actually have never heard of that.
Yeah, so I don't know if it just came out, but it's there because Premiere is very heavy.
Yeah, I know
There's
it's
a
like
lot-
CPU intensive.
There's a lot to Premiere, so they added this thing called Rush, which essentially is like the higher version of whatever one comes stock on the Mac. I think it's iMovie.
Oh yeah.
So it's like an easier, more intuitive iMovie, but for Windows.
Yeah, it was more like computer friendly, like
Right.
like system friendly.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So it doesn't like blow up your entire
Yeah,
system.
just-
running
just
four-
start-
Sometimes you'll be in Premiere and you're just like, I might have to hit YouTube real quick.
Yeah.
It's like what I'm trying to do, I don't even know how to word it out or find it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
different,
for
like-
sure.
Premiere is just it's preferable because it's so interchangeable with After
Yeah,
Effects and
100%,
Photoshop.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
There's
true. That's true.
there's a million video editing softwares, but it's like if you're not avid Final Cut Premiere, you're not respected.
What do you
But
think's the
there's,
best
like,
one? Premiere? Or Final Cut?
Premiere is the best.
Yeah,
the one
definitely
that's
rock
most
with Premiere.
widely used is Avid though.
Yeah.
That's the most common still today.
Yeah.
Who's Avid under?
Is that Red
As
Camera?
far as publisher, I don't know.
Red.
Yeah.
I don't know. I should know.
So it's expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what you're saying is
I think Red has this thing where they like specifically have like a program, and I think it is that. Like
Right.
it's maybe under that. I'm not too sure.
Oh, they
so-
have their own like software that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
How'd you get into all this, man? Because I feel like a lot of people watch Pixar movies and Disney interactive movies, and they're like, "Oh, that's super cool," but then they watch the behind the scenes, and it's so complicated. Like, what made you dive into that?
So I've always been like a creative in my mind, but it's weird because I started out making like just like memes, like for Twitter and stuff, and then I didn't start actually diving into like Photoshop, until probably like 2000 like 15 or 16. I got like real serious to it, started making it like a
You're
career
in high school
sort
at this
of.
time, right?
Yeah,
you're
that was
pretty young.
like early years of high school.
Okay.
And same thing with like Cinema 4D. I was using the basics of it, but I didn't start diving into it until probably about like a year or two ago. And then I got serious within the last year. Started really like trying to push my limits and what I'm capable of with with all that. But yeah, I feel like I've always just been a creative, and I just get inspired through music, movies, really anything, other people's work.
So did you draw originally? Like, because
I was never a big like drawer. I've always wanted to draw, but that's like one of the few things I can't do.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe I'm just too lazy to actually like sit down and like learn.
Right.
But I did take a few classes in college to draw, and then after I dropped out of college, I just stopped. I still have like a sketchbook that I'll sometimes do like maybe like thumbnail for like storyboards, but nothing too crazy.
What made you drop out?
Well, there's a few reasons. Like, a couple reasons I just wasn't doing good. I wasn't interested. It was cost effective, and I didn't really need it for what I was doing in life.
Right.
You know, because you don't need a degree for graphic design. They look at your portfolio before they look at your accolades.
Right. And you're already valuable just because you understand those softwares.
Yeah, I think so as well.
That's what people don't understand. Like, I'm not trying to be anti-college, and I want you guys to weigh in, of course, as well. But like, you can get a job in 2019 if you know a software. Like, you don't even need a degree. Like, I'm
Yeah, for
a
sure.
video editor. The only reason I have my job is because I know Avid.
Like if you're fluent in one, just one, all you need is just to be fluent in one, or at least have a masterful understanding of it.
Yeah.
You'll get a job.
Definitely.
If you know
Yep.
Photoshop, you can get a full-time job today.
Bro.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like I try to tell, like, I hear stories all the time, especially with people who are getting like full-time jobs and they edit. Like they're like the demand for editors is at an all-time high, and it will continuously be at an all-time high.
I know people that their sole job is just to edit photos as well.
Yeah,
You guys are referring to image editing, not video editing.
Oh, video editing, image editing, any form of editing, because you can freelance with your editing, but you can also like let's say for instance, a YouTube's like, yo, I don't feel like editing this vlog. It's tedious, but I'll pay you this
Outsource
amount.
it.
You can have
Right.
exactly, and then companies that will literally pay you full time to just like edit like commercials and all that type of stuff, and you can there's so much information on editing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 100% right.
Especially on YouTube, because anyone is like making videos. And,
Oh yeah, you could work remotely and edit somebody's YouTube channel.
Oh,
The
yeah.
possibilities. Are
Oh yeah,
endless.
yeah.
But when you decided, when you were like, all right, school's not for me, I'm gonna hit this on my own. Did you get like a lot of kickback from your family? Like, what was that like? Or did they see
Yeah.
your skill enough that they were like, dude, you're pretty skilled?
Well, my dad was more lenient, you know. Like he's just like supportive, like really whatever. He doesn't really like get into it, but I know he's like supportive with whatever I do. My mom though, she was kind of like hesitant on having me drop out. But it took a lot of persuading, and I eventually kind of told her that, just like what I'm telling you, like you don't need a degree for this stuff. I'm already good enough, and I'm just gonna keep getting better through the next couple of years until I make it like a full career.
Yeah.
And by that time, like I'll be fine. Like I don't need this. It's just waste of money, at this point.
Did she like understand your work? Like, if you show your mom, because like the stuff that you have it's pretty cool. A lot of it's like futuristic.
Yeah.
We're obviously gonna get into Blade Runner in this podcast. Like, it's very Blade Runner reminiscent. Like,
Yeah,
when you show
yeah.
your mom.
Well, that's
something
definitely
like
a huge inspiration. Is
Yeah.
Blade Runner and any sort of like cyberpunk, yeah, like retro wave, all that stuff. I love that stuff. But
Like, did she understand? Because I feel like your mom wouldn't be able to really understand your
she
work.
doesn't understand, but I remember when she told me one time, she's like, no matter what you do, I'm just gonna love it.
Oh, yes.
I was like, okay,
mom.
I was
That's
like,
some
whatever.
classic mom
Yeah.
stuff right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So sometimes I know she won't even understand something. She'll ask a couple questions, and I'll have to explain. But like she loves it regardless.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
And there's a very specific aesthetic that you have. I notice you're into skulls, a lot of like Oriental shinobi kind of ninja
Yeah.
influences. You're into kind of grids. You have a tattoo piece I just saw now.
Yeah.
And it's like a grid with a samurai sword, right?
Yeah,
It's almost
Oni
like a
mask,
mixture of all
samurai sword, skull, pretty much everything that I'm into.
Right. That's what I wanted to bring up, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because I designed this myself for that reason, and I want to eventually get like a whole sleeve of tattoos designed by myself.
So did you
Badass.
make a 3D design of that and then you showed it to the tattoo artist?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
he just
That's
kind of
dope.
traced it. Yeah, thank you
Dude,
guys.
that's super
Fire.
cool.
Did he-
yeah, yeah.
Did he-
No, I appreciate that.
Did he
appreciate that.
fulfill the tattoo? Your
Yeah,
likeness?
yeah. No, it came out exactly how I wanted to, and I already have another idea for this side. It's gonna be like a Japanese temple, pretty much the
Okay.
same style with like abstract kind of brush strokes, different patterns and stuff.
Yeah,
But I already
collages and everything.
Yeah, I already got it all planned out. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of like Japanese culture. Not even just like anime, just like traditional like Japan, their architecture,
right.
everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, skulls and stuff.
Yeah. I feel like Japanese design, they have a very clean and particular aesthetic.
Yeah,
like,
they
everything
do.
has kind of like a particular. Well, when you look at like Italian Renaissance art, everything is kind of like swirly and all kind of meshed together. But
Right.
Japanese is like very separate, like blacks and whites and very distinct.
Yeah,
differences
yeah,
between
they do
colors.
definitely.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely like something like very honorable to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always found like even stuff like that, and I love what you said about like the Italian aspect of it just being like just swirly
Yeah.
in a way. Like I always look at things, especially the warriors at the time, like samurais being very like the colors were strong. They were very
Yeah.
dominant.
Yeah.
They were very honorable, and it goes from their warriors, but to their culture, to their building structures, to their architectures.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's really dope. And I mean, Jake, you freaking kill it.
Hey man, thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Thank you guys.
I even like down to your look. It's interesting whenever I meet artists, like they never dress like they just came out of Kohl's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they always dress like they just like spent a whole weekend on South Street just
Yeah.
buying clothes from South Street.
Yeah.
every day. Like, that's how I
probably
know
gonna,
artists.
It's probably gonna be us like maybe 40 years down the road. We're just gonna be J. Kendrick
Yeah,
Lamar.
yeah.
And it's just like we're gonna look like straight bums. But we're
Yeah,
gonna be the
yeah.
most, like-
Rip sweatshirts
Yeah.
and rip sweatshorts and stuff.
Yeah.
But it costs
High
a couple
socks.
racks. on it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
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 exactly.
exactly.
Yep.
I feel like when you get to that point, you've just been through so many different stages in life that you're
Yeah.
just like, dude, the way I dress doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
for real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Like I'm trying to survive this thing, man. This
Yeah.
being famous.
Yeah,
Yep.
Right.
man.
You know, I was speaking of that, I saw a clip on World Star Hip Hop today of like Kanye West's daughter like singing. Did you see this? He has like a Sunday morning service.
Every Sunday, yeah. I know what
Oh
you're talking
yeah, I did
Oh,
see
I've
that.
seen.
And
I
they're-
didn't see
They're
the
performing at
daughter singing.
Coachella too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah, that's massive.
That's pretty crazy.
massive.
Like you get famous enough that you have your own Sunday morning service. With
Yeah.
people.
But not even
That's
that. It's just
wild.
like,
Yeah, that is a crazy point.
and I watched a lot of the clips and like, dude, the one that was going viral, I was like, I need to hear that as an actual
when he
song.
made the that beat. Yeah,
Yeah, he
Oh,
made
yeah.
the beat, and then they're all harmonizing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
that one was
Dude.
pretty cool.
That was
Man.
crazy.
I've seen that one, and then there was one where like the daughter was dancing.
Yeah.
And there was somebody was just taking video of her, and then people were like busting on her about like not having any rhythm. I was like, she's like 5.
Yeah.
Calm down, internet.
Yeah, I
it's
was like,
like-
okay, let's chill out.
Let's take like 5
Catch me
minutes.
dancing at a wedding back in the day. I was just
Yeah,
footloosing
yeah,
everything.
right. You weren't you were just having fun.
Yeah,
You know?
What's that one where you throw your head back and you just have your arms
Bernie?
up?
the Bernie. Yeah,
Just
Yeah,
doing
the
the Bernie at
Bernie.
11
Yeah.
years old. Just
everybody was like, "Yo, who is this kid?"
Now you can't
Yeah.
get. Now you go to weddings, you see kids doing the.
I know,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
the
What-
floss or whatever
floss,
it's called.
yeah.
Yeah.
anything that's on Fortnite, kids will do.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah, that's
God.
like that's the new trend of like dancing now.
There was
It's
a
like-
there was a
Fortnite.
video there was a video I saw on Twitter that was trending. It was at a church, and the pastor, and the choir, they're doing their thing. They're singing, and the kids in the front row. Like everyone's like stamping their feet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the kid in the front row is just hitting the shoot, and then then he's hitting the floss, and then he was doing that
That
Fortnite,
thing?
Yeah,
that
I forget
Fortnite
that.
dance.
the shake and bake
Oh,
is
yeah,
like,
he
just,
hit-
just
yeah,
totally
he-
standing out in the crowd.
He
Right.
literally did about 15 memes in like a 10-second
Yeah, I was
interval.
gonna say within like a 30
that's
second.
Generation
span.
X, man.
Something
Generation X is
crazy.
some other thing.
so
Yeah.
innately funny about watching kids dance because
Yeah.
they're super aggressive with
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then they'll be like, they do the floss, and I'm like, but can you do it this fast? And you just see some
Yeah.
kids go,
Yeah, right.
Like his arms aren't moving. They're just like,
yeah, they
It's like,
take
you wanna
they
see me
take
do it?
pride in that.
You want to see
Yeah.
me do it again?
Yeah.
Oh man.
But for them, that was our
cooking, show.
Soldier Boy.
no, younger than that, the jerk, and
The
also
jerk, yeah.
the jerk, and I'm missing another one,
Oh.
Cat Daddy.
Oh my
Cat
God,
Daddy
Stinky
and-
Leg.
Yeah, like that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
so that was our
That
Yeah.
jerk song.
lean with it, rock
You're
with
I'm
it.
a jerk.
No.
Snap your
That
fingers.
seems like a
and
fake song they come up with in a cartoon.
Remember-
Like, that'll be
Yeah.
like in the
Remember,
Boondocks
you're
or
a jerk.
something.
I know.
Yeah.
You're a
Yo,
jerk.
remember when we would go to like the mall and there would be people
Yeah,
dancing,
there would be
like,
whole
battling?
like flash
Yeah.
mobs of
Jerking.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah, in
skinny
the middle
jeans.
of the mall.
Sounds
Yep.
crazy.
The most colorful skinny jeans.
Yeah, yeah.
So you guys have been
turquoise
friends
blue.
for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
It's about 8 years.
Yeah.
6,
Dang.
8 years.
Between 6 and 8 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere there.
It was like beginning of high school, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dang.
yeah.
But y'all see
Yeah,
people
we've seen a lot of
battling in the
things,
mall.
man.
That's
we,
wild.
we've been through some stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, our mall was every Friday night. The Goss came out.
That's wild.
Oh, really?
Dude, with
That was their night.
the black, big black pants
Yeah.
with the chain link.
Oh,
Yeah.
snap.
Studded belt and stuff.
Yeah. They went to that arcade and DDR was lit.
They got the fishnet arms.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes it takes another 10 years for like a trend to die. So like
We gotta bring that back.
Yeah,
I feel like goth died in like 1999, but there were still like those remnants, you know.
Well, because then it
Yeah.
transitioned into the emo.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
It went into the emo. I don't even know what it is now. It's just
Well, now
it's
you
just
got
in hip
now
hop.
you got like these like angsty kids who don't know between like SoundCloud
Yeah.
rap and like goth, and
Yeah.
they dress like it's like a
Yeah.
mix between
Jake's
them.
got it, man. Now emo is cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know.
It's cool to
It's
be
like
emo.
I tweet about my depression.
Anti-establishment.
I go against the grain.
Right,
It's
right.
like it's,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
like,
They're
it's
like
like
the new hippies.
But
right?
then
Yeah.
you're like, what are you kids even angry about?
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it's like,
you
don't know,
live in
what do you-
America.
Yeah, I know.
It's
You
like-
can order Chinese
It's
food.
like you live
Right.
in
Why
the
are you
suburbs.
upset?
Yeah.
I get in the 90s there's like things to be angry and mad about,
Yeah.
but now I'm just like, what are you so
Yo,
angry?
what's on your mind?
It's like
Let me know.
Someone's mom tells these kids no, and they just be like, "Yo, depression is crazy." I'd be like, "Yo, that's wild."
I'm really going
I'm
through
gonna make
it.
a whole rap song about it.
That's hilarious.
I don't like my mom.
I'm running away.
Speaking
that's
of
what it is, man.
music, man, this question goes to you too, James. You're probably sitting in front of the computer for hours. Like I know photos, like you probably like an hour maybe or two to edit. But
Oh, yeah.
With 3D landscapes and modeling, I'm pretty sure that takes a super long time. So maybe you could speak on that. But also, man, like what music do you listen to? Like
Which one do you want me to answer first?
it's up to you, big
Music?
guy.
Music, I listen to all genres.
Okay.
Lo-fi, chill, hardcore music.
What's hardcore?
Screamo, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, really?
But I'm not emo. Or,
Wow.
Like, look at me. I mean,
No, I'm not judging off
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm saying like I don't think I could work to like like I can't work
well,
to
I
that.
I
You'd
listen
be
to that when I go to
surprised,
the
bro.
gym. That's
Oh,
like my
okay,
gym
okay,
music.
okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
When I work, I actually listen to like podcasts, like comedic punk
I thought so.
podcasts and stuff
Yeah.
like Chris D'Elia, Theo Von. I don't know if you guys know them.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
dude. I'm familiar with that.
Okay,
and
okay,
The King
yeah,
and the Sting.
you
with
know,
Brendan
yep,
Schaub,
yep.
yeah.
I work a lot to like podcasts and like chill music and stuff. Only music I can't really listen to is like country.
Yo, they
Yeah.
bringing it back.
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas
So
X.
what is that song, bro?
We were playing it yesterday.
Yeah,
I know, but is
That's Lil Nas X. He's got I got the horses in the back.
yeah. So is it legit? Just like I thought
No,
I saw like
that's
Billy
becoming
Ray
a thing.
Cyrus or
Yeah,
something.
he hopped
Yeah,
on
he's
it.
on
He
the
hopped
remix
on it.
now,
He made
yeah.
it fire.
They should have called the track "Return of the Backwoods."
yeah.
I just want man.
Well, what's
Billy
crazy-
Ray Cyrus walked in and dominated that track.
Yeah, well, what's crazy is they took that song was at the top of the country billboards, but they took it off because it didn't like symbolize the current state of country or whatever.
wasn't
whatever that
country
is.
enough.
Yeah, which was
Yeah,
whack
yeah.
already.
People are like,
And then
It's
so
like,
they
what the hell
took
is
it
that
off,
supposed to mean?
which is like seems illegal. And then you got the remix with Billy Ray, and now it's like back at like number 2. or
number one
something.
in the world.
Yo,
Yeah,
Billy
yeah.
Ray walked into the studio and was like, "Listen, fella, we are going
The
to
horses
blow
are
up."
about to be in the front.
And
That should be the name of this episode.
Bro, he said he said he said in the song, it made me crack up. He said, "I'm sitting on my matte black horse. You can go ahead and drive your Porsche."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like,
I
said,
was
"This
like,
is
I
a
didn't know
hit."
he had it in him.
Bars.
I was like, this is a hit. He said, "Cheated on my baby. You can go." What do you say? You can go already ask her. Or
Yeah,
something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
I was like, yo,
also
he's
crazy.
talking.
I was like, "You're the father of
Hannah Montana.
Montana."
Montana, yeah.
Well, meanwhile, she's in here resurrecting her old character,
Yeah, right.
talking about
Right.
perks and stuff.
And then Billy Ray was like, spent a couple bands on a brand new guitar, and I was like,
Guitar.
I was like, yes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be walking in the studio with a cowboy hat.
yeah, right.
Man,
some boots.
it's not gonna be with
some
my
spurs.
squad. It's not gonna be
you
with
know
my
how
gang.
they,
It's
you know
gonna
how
be
they
with
do
my
those
posse.
they do like the studio sessions. You'll kind of get like little clips that come out throughout the week of like
Yeah.
the studio session. He said to the guy, Lil Nas X, and he uploaded it saying that his words like made him cry.
Oh,
Because
wow.
Billy Ray Cyrus was saying, "Listen, man, what you have here is special. Even if I wasn't here, and what you had prior to it, but like your name is gonna be said like throughout like the universe. Like
Oh,
gas him
yeah.
up. He's like, your name's gonna be said throughout
Damn.
the universe.
Yeah,
like you're
well-
gonna become a household name.
Yeah,
Like he said, and he let him listen to his other songs,
Wow.
that's a huge
and he
endorsement.
said, yeah, that's a massive endorsement.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
wow.
Coming from like one of like the
Yeah, I mean,
legends of country.
I'm
you know?
interested now. I'm
I want to hear what's
completely
next
interested.
Yeah.
because I want to know what's next. Is he?
Well,
Have
actually,
another
I
country
saw
song?
I saw a clip, and it's like he's like going into like rock now. It's like a rock and like
Right.
Dude, this guy
sort of SoundCloud rap, but like
That's
it's
right.
its own
Legendary,
sound.
man.
Yeah, this
gassed
dude's
up.
become like a pioneer of the music industry.
So this is gonna be its own genre.
Yeah.
Could be, yeah.
Wow.
When you go on iTunes, it says country song.
That's hilarious. I peeped that, but yeah, just hearing just hearing his compliment, it gassed me up for some reason.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I'm inspired.
Bro,
by
getting told that your name will be sang throughout the universe. Like, what?
Yeah.
You're like, damn.
By someone who knows who he's what he's talking about,
Right.
you know, like.
Yeah,
That's wild.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's crazy.
So you listen to pretty much everything except country, which I get.
Yeah.
So how long does it take you? For example, I know there's one piece that you made where it was like a car burning out, like in front of the city, kind of.
Oh yeah, in the parking lot.
Did you make that all the buildings?
Yeah.
Like, what do you make?
Well, so my friend actually released a pack. It's kind of like a sample pack, but it's for like assets and stuff, 3D assets.
Like environments.
Yeah, environments, and his name's the Dizzy Viper. On Instagram, and he's got his own like YouTube channel for like tutorials and stuff. If you're ever like looking into that, but he released a pack that like he like made buildings and stuff, and I just added the lights to them.
Yeah.
And everything else I modeled except the car. I did the parking lot, the lamp posts, the cones and all that. Everything else, the mountains and all that.
So how long did that take from beginning to end?
So that was the only like 3D scene I've ever made 2 different scenes of, and then I just merged the one scene into the original with the car because the file was like way too big and it kept crashing my computer.
For rendering, right?
Yeah. So I had to
because you had all those atmospherical effects.
Exactly. There was like too many details. So what I had to do was model the buildings and like the mountains in one scene, and then I just merged them over in like the parking lot scene, and then just rendered it straight away without it, you know.
Okay.
So that's actually the story behind that. But
so
that's probably my most favorite piece like in the past year.
Yeah, that's one I wanted to commentate on because I saw there was like 2 pictures of it. Like I think it was one you could swipe through, and I was like,
yeah,
this one seems
I
pretty
really
important.
I really made it a point to showcase like the details by kind of zooming in and making it, you know, with the slides and stuff.
So when you're watching movies and you see like 3D special effects, like in your head, are you like picking it apart? Like, dang, that must have took a long time to render.
Well, it's funny because yesterday we were looking behind the scenes of like movies and stuff like Blade Runner, David Fincher.
Yeah, David Fincher, legend of CGI.
Yeah, and
he
it
uses
was
it so subtly, it's incredible.
Yeah, and it was just like comparing like behind the scenes, like how they made a scene compared to like what we actually saw, and like you would never guess,
Right.
like the process that went behind like such small details like that they didn't even need like effects for, you know.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Social Network?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, for example, one of the effects by David Fincher was the twins. Those weren't like real life twins. Like that's like this. It's like the same person, and they did I believe like a mapping of that person's face and put it on another person.
Was
so
that the rowboat scene?
Huh?
Was
that was like the rowboat scene.
Yeah,
but they're in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, and I keep saying them, but it's actually just one
Him.
person.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's like, dang.
What got me, man, is so Godzilla, the American Godzilla movie, and then the sequel's coming out, I think, this summer.
Yeah.
You're talking about the one
yeah.
from a
Recent
couple years
one
ago?
with the chubby Godzilla.
Okay.
Yeah. They said that the scene where he smashes through like the Golden Gate Bridge or something, it had to be rendered on like 5 different computers, and it took like a whole day just to render that scene.
Jeez.
Oh my
They said they
goodness.
couldn't render it on one computer, so like they split up that scene into different pieces
Right.
and
And
had
put it together.
different
Yeah.
computers
Wow.
render different pieces of
Yeah,
it.
that's insane. It should never get to that point in
Yeah.
detail that you need
Right.
5
I
different
just
computers.
saw
Yeah.
it was a side by side comparison from Endgame. It was Tony Stark talking to Captain America, and it showed what the scene looked like when they shot it,
Right.
and then what it looked like after like an edit, and it was CGI, and it was only one thing that they changed, and it was his suit. So they gave Captain America, he was in like a blue like kind of like a green screen
Right.
suit.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
thin. It was very thin. It was
Yeah.
like almost like naked. And then what the scene was used in the actual trailer, and it might be a dummy scene because it might not actually exist.
What they did with like Thor and everything when they hit his eye and everything like that.
That was crazy too.
Yeah,
I didn't know
super
about
wild.
that because
Yeah.
I was like, that's insane. But they literally built him like CGI leather on the suit
Yeah.
and like all this stuff. And I'm like, bro, like it's crazy. I can't even imagine just how much time that took and how many hands were on
Oh
that.
yeah.
Like
That's what happens.
frame by frame.
If you look at after the ending credits, like after the ending credits,
right.
and
Hundreds.
if you just look
Hundreds.
at the VFX artists
Oh,
that
yeah.
are on it, and then the companies that have been in it, and then
I was
their
gonna say
people,
there's different companies.
it's like, yo, y'all could together can like map or freaking CGI version of the world.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
'Cause
Well, today
so
they just
crazy.
finished it today. They the Russo brothers tweeted out. They said the visual effects is done, and we
Wow.
just sent the movie in today. The movie's supposed to come out
The
two
26th.
Fridays from
3
now.
hours.
Yeah.
Endgame.
Yeah,
for
April
Endgame.
26th, I
Like
think.
they just finished the visual effects today.
Yeah, way to wait till like last minute.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And that's what made me think. I'm like, damn,
Crunch
like
time.
how long ago did they start?
Right.
with
Well,
visual
I feel like
effects?
they've probably watched it 6 times by now, and like they're going back and forth on what they should change.
Yeah,
and just
true.
like, okay,
They
we
even
should
do that
probably
with
change
video
this.
games. Like,
Yeah.
like sometimes I'll be
Yeah,
looking at
man.
video games. I'm like, yo, this scene was never in here. Like, especially if you just look at like when they showcase like a trailer
Yeah.
Right.
at like an event, and they're like, this is what we have in store, and then it comes out and it's like, what? This is not what
It's
you
like
had
real
in store.
downgraded?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But like,
That's what happened to Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was a popular thing. Everybody was comparing like the cinematic that they showed
From
at like E3 to
Mhm.
like the
actual
cutscenes in the
game.
game. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the cinematics were off, the lighting was off, the details were like.
And they said that
You always got to overpromise, man.
And
Yeah, you
but they
do.
said that the current PS4, even the PS4 Pro, it couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
So they had to go back.
So like, I mean, it kind of like that's really interesting because then you have like projects like The Last of Us.
Yeah,
And you see,
Uncharted.
and,
You
and
saw
like
that
Naughty
new
Dog is like
trailer,
a
yeah.
like Naughty Dog is a trusted source.
yeah,
Right.
And when you see gameplay like that,
Right.
and it's like, yo, this is the most gorgeous thing. Like, this is better than what I see on computers.
Right.
So then when you come to the fact of like people downgrading it because of the PS4, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
is it people just not working smart, or is it just
So what I think it is, so The Last of Us is it's not that dynamic of a game.
Mm-hmm.
You're staying on the ground. It has a little bit of levels to it, but it doesn't go that more. Like Spider-Man is like, you're going from the ground to the sky.
there's probably
Yeah.
no
So-
loading? Yeah.
It's probably, they're probably like, all right, so how are we going to get this game to look rendered and beautiful
right.
Mm.
in native all the way throughout when they're coming 100 miles from the ceiling to
makes
the
sense.
down.
True.
Whereas,
Yeah.
whereas The Last of Us is kind of it's slow.
Yeah.
And, they emphasize more on, like, atmosphere and mood.
Yeah,
So
that's
I feel
true.
like that's how they can, and it's not open world. So I feel
That's
like
true.
that's
yeah,
why
it's,
they're
it's
able
more of
to
a
push
linear
it.
game. But also in Spider-Man, like, I think you told me this. They modeled every single room in the buildings.
Yeah.
Like
That's
each
crazy.
each office
bro,
is
that's
different.
nuts.
Like you don't need that detail.
That's wild.
yeah.
I feel like that's the work that you give like the 3D intern though. You're like, what do I do
Yeah.
today? It's just like, dude, just
The real
make,
tedious
just make
stuff.
rooms,
Just make a
bro.
room.
Just
Make sure
rooms, bro.
every lamp is on when people land
Yeah.
on a building.
I'll just be putting curtains over all the windows just so.
Right.
Right.
So is that like an ultimate ambition of yours? Like, do you one day want to work on a AAA game or a movie, or do you want to be like independent your whole life? Like, what are you
Yeah.
trying to do?
No, I want to start out at a creative agency that makes movie posters for Hollywood films.
Nice.
And then I want to take skills from that and then eventually move them to AAA games and help develop,
So video games
cinematics
specifically.
or even like environmental, like be an environmental concept artist. It doesn't even need to be like in the finished product, but it'd be cool to have something based off of something I made,
Right.
Yeah, that would
to be in the
pretty
final
dope.
game. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you're 3D modeler, artist. What is your favorite video game of all time?
Ooh.
You could. What's your favorite? Like,
Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead.
Really? That was
Yeah.
quick. Like favorite to play or just favorite? Like I respect the kind of 3D modeling and animation that's in this. I guess it's a 2-tier question.
It's
so
it's
what's-
hard because now it's kind of aged.
Okay. Yeah.
The graphics are kind of aged and stuff, but I do remember back then. I really admired the graphics and just even the gameplay, just the fluid gameplay and just how everything looked. I really respected. So I guess it's a bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And they're coming out with a another one called Back for Blood.
Really?
Yeah. They couldn't do it with Valve because they got the rights to the Left 4 Dead name.
Yeah.
That was
but
Capcom originally, right? No. I'm thinking. What am I thinking? Dead or
it was,
Alive? What am I thinking about, Sheldon?
You're thinking of
maybe Dead or Alive.
No, he's thinking of Dead Rising.
Dead
Dead Rising.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Dead Rising
Without
was one.
fail, he always-
Still zombies though, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
But now this upcoming one is partnering with Warner Brothers to publish, and they just changed the name.
Wow.
Yeah, and Warner Brothers is trusted because they published the Arkham games,
Yeah,
which
they did the
which
Arkham games.
were actually
Phenomenal.
in my top 5 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did you play Arkham Knight?
I played all of them except
how crazy is
except
Arkham
the
Knight, dude?
except the original. I didn't play just because
Asylum.
I was
Asylum,
like,
PS3.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I was like, the graphics and
My personal favorite one, I forget the name of
Arkham
it.
City or Arkham Origins?
Origins.
Origins.
Origins
Yeah,
was
that's the
actually
prequel.
'Cause
They
it
changed the
opened-
yeah.
They changed the developer, and that opening fight was so badass
Yeah.
against what's his name?
Bane?
No.
Who's he fight? Firefly?
Slade. He's fighting Slade.
Oh, he is fighting Slade.
yeah.
Literally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That was super
and it was on
cool.
Christmas Day, and that opening
That
fight
was
was
like
so
one of the
sick.
first boss fights. I
Yeah, that was
think.
literally the first. The
Yeah.
first thing you do in the game is a boss fight.
Yeah.
That's like I remember seeing the trailer to that when they showcased Batman versus Deadshot as well as
Dude, that's what it
Deathstroke?
was.
There's
and
Firefly.
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke.
It was Deathstroke
Slade.
and Deadshot.
Deathstroke.
Yeah.
And I
Slade is
remember
what they call him in
watching-
Teen Titans. I did the
Yeah.
same exact thing.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't
Yeah,
remember
same
it was
dude.
Deathstroke. I couldn't remember
Yeah,
his name.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's dead, but like no.
Yeah.
Spoiler
Nothing
alert.
is real anymore.
Yeah, right. But like I remember. I mean,
Brief caveat. You guys do know that's why Deadpool was created, right?
Yeah.
Marvel
Oh,
was
yeah.
parodying.
Mhm.
Oh, really?
yeah,
Mhm.
Deathstroke.
Yeah.
That makes sense because they have the same like similarities. You
Yeah.
know.
Two
Mhm.
swords.
With the swords and everything.
guns.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a parody of that character because they just thought it was like so overly serious. that
Yeah.
They made a character's exact opposite.
Okay, yeah.
So one's
That's
Wade-
actually pretty
was
clever
it-
then.
It's Wade Wilson, and what's the other one's name?
Slade. Yeah, Slade.
Slade.
Slade and Wade.
Wilson.
Slade, yeah. So it's like the exact same thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, what
That's
were you
funny.
saying? My bad.
Yeah, like just like even trailers today. I just love seeing it because
Yeah.
it's like, and this is why it's like super cool about what you're doing because like I can't wait to see the growth that you're gonna like tap into,
Mm-hmm.
especially obviously being in California, but also just like the collaborations and the work that you're gonna do
Right,
later
right.
on because like. When I look at like trailers, I'm like, yo, it's gonna one day get to that point where we're able to get like a group of people and we can literally make something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be like so like efficient to use one day, where you won't even need like a big company. You
Mhm.
know, like
Talking
you'll-
about modeling and animation or
just
both?
like technology like regarding games like Unreal Engine.
Oh yeah, we just
stuff
just
is
saw that.
crazy.
Yeah,
We
they
just
were-
saw,
Have you guys
like,
seen
It's
that? The thing that
open
they
to the
just
public,
released?
man.
No.
Everything looks like photorealistic,
ridiculous.
and
It's
And it's open to the public. Like,
Mhm.
anyone,
Yeah.
anyone can use it.
Whoa, what do you mean?
You can use Unreal Engine.
If you have
Unreal
a good
Engine
computer,
is free as long as you have like a good CPU
Yeah.
because it is a CPU intensive program. Yeah.
and when I tell you like when you see this thing, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
like it's
That thing that
scary.
they did a couple years ago called The Room, where it was just
Yeah.
like it was a
Mhm.
3D model of like a hotel room in Paris.
Look-
I was like, so someone took a camcorder and
Yeah.
just walked around. I was like, this looks insane.
Yeah.
Like even the particle effects and like
Mhm.
the lighting, I was like, that's nuts.
Yeah. You would never guess that it's like not real.
Mhm, yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
It's getting to that point.
gonna
Even, I
be
don't know if you guys saw the
real
movie
engine.
Alita Battle Angel.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just like
It's
the
amazing.
visual effects for that was. Did you see it yet? Bro, the visual effects were insane.
Yeah.
Told you. I gotta watch the anime first before I go see it. But
True.
I definitely will.
I was thinking about watching the anime first, but I was like,
It's old and dated, but it's very good.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's very good.
I've been noticing a trend though in indie games recently. It seems like with smaller title indie games like the ones that you can buy off Steam, like the graphical presentation isn't as important. Like they're kind of sacrificing that for
True.
like just unique concepts. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So you'll see like a lot of basic 3D modeling that like
Mhm.
demonstrates a really unique concept. Like I'm trying to think of an example right now, but like I think those games are cheaper to produce. But
Yeah,
they can be pretty popular.
it's real popular like with the like in indie developers like they hold like a certain style of like graphics, but they focus on like story driven and stuff, and it gets the idea across that at that point the graphics don't matter as much.
It's also
I feel.
like gameplay too.
Yeah.
Like multi-platforming.
Mhm.
Just being able. It's literally a better version of an iPhone game
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you can just addictively play and just it's visually stimulating.
Yeah.
So like yeah, I mean like that's like another thing too. Like with being a visual artist, you can just like there's so many different variations of how you can tap into what a company or what an individual
definitely.
wants
Mhm.
because there's just so many programs out there that enables you to get
Yeah.
specifically what you want. It's insane.
Yeah, for sure.
James, what's your favorite video game of all time?
Oh man.
If you have to pick,
I
You
would
can pick
say
multiple ones.
I love Uncharted.
I was gonna
I
say.
love the Uncharted
What's your
series.
favorite one?
Second one.
Two, really?
Yeah, second one. I remember because that was the first one I played. I didn't play the first one, but I played the second one, and I remember sitting here like, yo, this game is ridiculous.
Right.
This is crazy.
Right.
Like, and I admired everything about it because this was like it was PS3,
Yeah.
and I remember playing this game, and I'm like, yo, I am hanging off of a train that's going, I don't know how fast, a helicopter shooting at
Off
me,
the side of a
going
mountain.
around the rails, and I'm hopping in and out, just literally just on terrain after terrain while it's moving,
Yeah.
and other things are moving, and I'm like, yo, this is dope.
Yeah.
And the story was phenomenal.
It was ahead of its time, yeah.
Totally.
Oh
For
my
sure.
gosh.
Fourth one actually brought me to tears, man.
Fourth one,
Yeah.
fourth one was
one
great.
just
Yeah.
had such a good story.
Yeah.
To it, besides gameplay.
And that's one of the few games in this generation of consoles. Like, I guess it's not considered the new gen anymore, but PS4 and like the Xbox One that
Right.
has both a story and a multiplayer.
I truly admire like those type of games too, because like when you were talking earlier about like admiration in terms of visual effects, and the one sequence where Drake is like in the mud and he's getting dragged while the car is like driving, like I can't understand how they can just animate all the movements that go along with that, and then like his shirt getting dirty, and then he gets up and his gun's dirty and he tries shooting it, and then it's so many things,
such
and,
small details.
but it carries it's like continuously.
It's not just that scene; it carries throughout the rest of the story.
It's incredible.
I feel like the key in production is you give one task to every person.
Yeah.
It's like
Assembly.
one person has the modeling task.
Yeah.
The other person has the frames and animation.
Yep.
The other person has the textures. So it's just like every single frame, that person just keeps their job.
Yeah.
And so that's how
That's
it's
how it
done.
is,
Yeah, it's like
But
the
yeah.
assembly line, like with Ford, he did with his cars. He said like, "Yo, there's too many parts,
Just give it to
and
one
people
person.
want this at a high demand. I'm just gonna buy everything. I'm gonna make everything off of my name and just have my workers just focus on one individual task. And next thing you know, he owns like more than 43% of the market of cars.
Dude, he
Yeah.
was crazy. They were
Ridiculous.
trying to take his company away from him because he couldn't read, Henry Ford.
Really?
Yeah, so they were like trying to make a case to, I guess, some sort of like business
Wow.
bureau that looked like Henry Ford shouldn't be in charge of this big of a corporation because he can't read. And so they addressed him about it. This is in How to Win Friends and Influence People, the book. And they're like, "Is this true? Like, can you not read?" And he was like, "Yeah, I can't read." He goes, "But watch this." And he snaps his finger like some guy works for him. He's like, "Read this for me."
The
And the guy
power.
reads it for him. And he's
Yeah.
just like,
That's
Showcasing
boss.
his power.
but just trying to show that he was capable. He was
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, maybe I can't read, but I have people that can do it for me.
Right,
I think
yeah.
that's the whole thing with 3D animation
Wow.
too, right?
I did not know.
Yeah.
That's a boss move right there.
Yeah. That's power.
There's some dope stories in that book, man.
That's
Dale
power.
Carnegie.
Yeah.
Power.
But
God
yeah.
dang.
I feel like with movies, right? The sequel always sucks. But with video games, I feel like the sequel's always better. Like two,
Yeah.
is like,
Yeah.
like Kingdom Hearts 1, dope. Kingdom Hearts 2, what?
Classic.
Jack and Dexter 1, cool. Jack and Dexter 2,
Yeah.
huh? You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
that was
Like,
fire.
I feel like video
Because
games
here's the
always
thing,
get it
dude,
right the second
'cause
time.
It's all about budget.
Yeah,
you,
that's
you
true.
get that green light, and you're like, you're just taking literally all the code from the first game. Now, how can we add on to it, even
Right.
if it's a little small detail?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
enough
I
to
feel like
change a
video
game.
games is like one of the few things that can actually revive a franchise. If
Yeah.
the first two games aren't good, the third one could be good, and the whole franchise is saved.
I
you
think
know?
it's. Do you think it's like also because of the like the companies? I feel like except for EA, I
yeah.
feel like game developers, they have a lot more freedom with like a video game. Whereas, let's say for instance, if I wanted to bring back a sequel, there's going to be like a whole lot of guidelines concerning like studios, like, oh, Universal wants you to have this, that, and this and that. Where it's like a video game, it's like, well, I mean, we can create whatever the heck we want.
Yeah.
Because it kind of is on a video game.
What do you?
Yeah.
This is a question for both of you. What do you guys like better for a type of video game? Do you like a video game that comes out, we'll say like Assassin's Creed, almost every year to every 2 years, or by a massive, developer
Yeah.
like Ubisoft, or do you like a game that comes out every 3 to 7 years, like a Square Enix, Final Fantasy, or Last of Us? Like, we haven't got the sequel yet of Last of Us. The first one came out in 2013.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you?
And the second one doesn't even have a set date yet.
We still don't have a set date.
Yeah.
So, like, what personally for both of you, what do you like better? Because that also translates to music. Do you like your artist to have an album
Yeah.
out every year, or do you
Yeah.
like him to take his time?
Well, I feel like in music it depends. You
Uh-huh.
know, often in games, like if you're just pushing out games like Assassin's Creed, it's not gonna it might as well just be like an expansion pack, you know, because nothing changed. Like how Far Cry just did with the new game.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
It's a perfect example.
So I think with games, I'd rather it be between like longer, you know, like
Right.
longer duration. Because they could take as much time as they want to do. Like,
But do you think if
as
it
long as
takes
it's good.
too long, it's a bad thing?
Well, okay, so that's what happened with the Division.
Yep.
And also Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So I guess it does depend with games as well. Usually I don't get a game until I see the reviews anyway.
Same.
Yeah.
But
Angry
but
Joe.
more often
Yeah.
than not, like I feel like video game development companies, like if they take more time to work on a game, it will be good.
What do you think?
I always just think that if you are able to take your time with something,
Right.
and also if you're communicating with your audience, because I think a lot of people they don't communicate with their audience.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's always this expectations just don't align. But I always think quality over quantity. The first Assassin's Creed game, phenomenal. Second one, phenomenal. I personally love the third being the best.
It's got remastered too.
Yeah, which is
That's right.
one is
Yeah.
that?
that's the Native American one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Native
that was phenomenal. But
See, because I asked that because, Ubisoft, they took that, because they were pumping them out every year.
every year.
And then they were like, okay, let's take 2.5 years off. And then they came back with Origins, and people were like, eh.
Yeah.
And then they were like, hold on now.
Well, that was the introduction to Origins, like the
Right.
like the software or whatever. Like,
Right. And because of that, we got Odyssey, and Odyssey's hailed as the best one.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Origins, we wouldn't have Odyssey. And Odyssey's
Odyssey
like
is
the
the
best
Greek one, right?
The Greek
Yeah,
one.
it's a Greek
was
one.
that the new one? That came?
Yes,
the
that's
latest.
the
Yeah.
latest
Okay.
one, and it was just confirmed. It was in the Division 2. There was a little Assassin's Creed
Like
Easter egg.
Okay.
It was a poster, and
Oh.
it was an assassin. You could tell it was an assassin, and he had the apple of Eden in his hand,
Oh.
and he was in Viking garb,
That's
Oh.
what's
and I
up.
was like, oh,
Yeah.
I like
That
that.
stuff.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
I like that.
I'm liking where they're going with
I feel
that.
like it also depends on the context of your product
Right.
as well too. Like I feel like with Assassin's Creed, their whole theme is so open
Yeah.
that they
Right.
can just continuously pump out ideas
And
because
it's
there's
a
a lot of
massive
good
studio.
ideas to do that. But I feel like with exactly,
Massive
Ubisoft is
studio.
ginormous.
They got hundreds of people there.
My thing is, I like to hear from the visionary behind the game that their final product is what they wanted.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
like
Dead
Sakurai
Space.
for
some
Smash
some
Bros, right?
reassurance.
Right.
Sakurai said that Smash Bros Ultimate is like the definitive Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there'll be another one after this, or is this like?
You and I are gonna be pretty old. I think this one's
We're
gonna
gonna
be. They're gonna be young, but we're gonna be pretty old.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's gonna be the last one for
How
a
long?
long time.
Because 4 came out 3 years ago, 2015, right? 2016, and then the
This-
last one before that was the Wii one,
Yeah.
and that was what, 7 years? That was like
Dude, I
8
don't
years.
know.
And then the last one before that was the GameCube one,
Yeah.
Dang,
Yeah.
wow.
and then in 1999.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a
That
pretty
is
big
a
gap.
long. That is a big
Yeah.
gap.
My point is like same thing with what's his name, Hideo, the guy who does
Oh.
Metal Gear
Oh,
Solid.
Hideki,
um,
Kojima.
Kojima.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kojima. Yeah.
Hideo Kojima.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
He
like-
takes about 10 years in between.
Yeah.
right, but that's my thing. Like if you're a visionary and you put a
Mhm.
game out and you're like, this is everything I want it to be,
Right.
That's perfect.
as long as
yeah.
it takes, bro. I'll
Right,
wait.
But
Exactly.
like I said, this pretty much stemmed from Kingdom Hearts 3. Did it live up to it for you?
What, Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yes.
I came to a realization as I was playing Kingdom Hearts 3. I was like, a lot of what I like about this was associated with the memories of when I was young. So
Yeah.
I was definitely had nostalgia glasses for a
Yeah.
second.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think it's not that they waited too long, it's that they showed too much.
Mhm.
I would just have showed the number
Mm.
3 over and over again until it was burned in your head. I would have
Mhm.
showed you any worlds or characters or anything.
Yeah.
They did. They
Boom.
did. They did
Yeah.
show a
That's-
lot.
that's
Keep
a
it
good
fresh
idea.
to the audience until it comes out.
Wow,
They showed,
Did you guys-
they
did you
showed
guys
every
play it?
world.
No,
No,
I
I've
didn't
seen
play
I've
it.
seen
So,
I've seen gameplay.
With
of
one of the
different
biggest,
worlds.
and this happens for a lot of the Japanese games, that the trailers that they release.
Oh
man,
yeah, they
show
show everything.
Everything.
So
Yeah.
me and
Even with
him, we were
movies.
watching trailers, and
Yeah,
we're like,
movies. With movies, I feel like I was talking. My bad, yo. I was talking to Sheldon about this. I forget when, but I said like I feel like in the production house for movie trailers, the thesis is the trailer is to tell the movie in a minute. Like,
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like that's what they
Yeah.
tell the editors. Tell this movie in a minute. That would be the trailer.
Literally, like if anybody is tuning in on this one, if you want a job and revolutionize that, go to Japan and be an editor and show them why that like you're like this specific way of editing and not revealing the entire movie actually works.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And you-
Because
and you
they're
know-
good at that.
Yeah.
And you know what trailer it's working for right now? Brightburn. Have you guys heard about that?
heard of
we just
Brightburn.
well, we just saw the trailer yesterday because we went to go see Pet Cemetery, and I
I
saw
saw
the
that on
trailer.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw the trailer a few weeks ago for Brightburn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how to feel about it though.
Was that the flying one?
Yeah,
It's like
it's
it's a-
Superman bad as a kid.
Yeah.
It's a,
Evil
yeah.
Superman
it's a
as a
twist.
kid.
It's
Yeah.
a twist on Superman. It's made by James Gunn.
Wow.
Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah.
guy.
That's dope.
Rated R superhero horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing it for the first time because that was the first time I saw it. And at first I was like, yo, this looks kind of interesting. And then when it started picking up, I was like,
You see the kid flying and stuff with
but
the
they
mask
but they
on?
always
mask on with red
they always
eyes.
like in every shot, he was like blurred out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was blurred out. It's the same thing with I wish that they did with the Death Note Netflix series
Oh.
because with
It was a movie.
yeah, it was the movie.
Yeah, Netflix
yeah,
exclusive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like what was the monster's name?
I forget his name.
Ryu?
Ryu?
Yeah, I think it was Ryu. Ryuk. It was Ryuk.
Yeah, yeah.
He was scary when he wasn't shown.
Yeah.
But then when when
ominous.
audience was able to see, they were like,
Eh.
"That's Green Goblin."
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe
Yeah, it's
mocap
Willem
is, you know.
Dafoe. But like,
Man, that's Green Goblin.
And,
Yeah.
and the CG wasn't that great.
wasn't that good?
Yeah,
wasn't that
no.
good.
When they didn't show him and they just showed the eyes,
Yeah.
I think if they just had kept him
Yeah.
in the shadows like that, almost as if it's like
Ominous,
lights
yeah.
consciousness,
Mhm.
it would have made that
Yeah,
so
man.
much
It would have
better.
added more of like a feeling and mood to the character
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure, like an ominous feeling. But they
Yeah,
ruined
man.
it.
Yeah, they ruined it.
Yeah.
Gosh
Although
darn
that
it.
movie wasn't too bad.
was
It
too
could have been
bad.
worse.
L was black, so that was interesting.
Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What was
That was
black?
it.
L.
Yeah, the cop.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, they're making Jet Black in the Jet Black. They're making Jet African American in the Cowboy Bebop remake. Did you see the
Really?
They released
yeah.
the
I did
cast.
see that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
snap.
Yeah.
I just got.
I don't know how I
got
feel
a
about-
He's
notification.
voiced by a black guy, so I feel like it should.
So I get it,
should have
bro.
just been in the anime.
Yeah,
I get that, but what the guy who's playing Spike, I forget his name.
Cho. What's
John
it?
Cho, right?
John, yeah,
Cho.
yeah.
Cho is
The,
Spike, yeah.
Just-
yeah, the Asian dude.
And he just doesn't look. I get that none
Spike
of them
is
look.
Asian though.
I
We were
know.
talking about this the other day.
I know,
Yeah.
but that's for every anime. They're typically Asian characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like even like the stature, like he's not. John Cho's not tall.
Yeah.
He doesn't
I
have
forgot about
shaggy
that, yeah.
hair.
Yeah.
Like
Like they could have
he's
gone with
not
an
a kung
Asian,
fu-
but like someone
was-
who
I
fits
was,
the
I
I would have
similarity.
like someone who
Yeah.
actually does.
We've all
like
seen Cowboy
kung
Bebop
fu.
here, right?
Huh?
We've all seen Cowboy Bebop here.
I've seen a few episodes.
I want to be careful then.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it. I'm never gonna.
Like the.
I'm never gonna watch it.
Classic.
Well, so here's
I've
what
seen a
happens,
few
man.
episodes. I'm not.
I got you. I respect that.
Yeah.
No, it was like that sort of a thing is like that's why it was interesting about the whole Ghost in the Shell because like the major she's Asian.
Yeah.
But then people were like, "Oh, well, it shouldn't matter if Scarlett Johansson plays because she's technically a robot." And I'm like,
Well,
I get it,
that's
but
arguable,
originally
yeah.
she was Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Now
And,
what?
and the movie was set in Tokyo.
"Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly."
exactly, yeah.
I look at her and I'm like,
And, like, the
"That
two
is
main-
not Sakura." No,
Yeah. And like all five of like the main characters, like the two doctors, the one bad dude, her partner, and then the bad dude, were all white.
yeah,
Right.
Everybody else was Asian though.
Yeah.
If you notice that, like all like the mafia people, like
Right.
Yeah.
they were all Asian.
And
Yeah.
I understand that Hollywood thinks that
They're trying to sell you on the lead.
they're trying to
Oh, yeah.
sell you on a lead.
Yeah.
But here's
It's
the
crazy.
thing: that movie, Crazy Rich Asians, didn't know a single person. Sold almost $1 billion.
That's
That
true.
movie's super
Yeah.
Popular. Yeah.
Dude.
$1 billion.
Concept. If you have a concept, and shout out to Jordan Peele, and that's why like I always tell
Oh
like,
yeah.
us all the time just to motivate us, like people like Jordan Peele, Donald Glover,
Right.
when they understand about the importance of not only like artist integrity but like having a good concept and
Right.
how you approach that concept. You don't need Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
You don't need The Rock. You don't
need the A-listers.
Yeah, you
like,
don't need
No.
A-listers. If you guys just put your passion into
Yeah.
it, it's gonna pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna pop. And you just like that that's just I mean, you look at Get Out, I mean it's Jordan Peele. Like people are
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah.
oh, he's gonna come up with a comedy movie. He's like, nah, I've been cooking up these horror movies in my
Yeah.
basement
Right.
for years.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's going crazy right now. Same thing with Donald Glover with and Atlanta, and he's just doing his thing. So
Yeah, directing and
it's
stuff.
super motivating
Yeah.
for us.
Especially with how you see they come up. Like he started doing stand up.
Yeah.
Jordan Peele started on Mad TV, just
Mm-hmm.
as like a regular castmate. Went on, had his own show. He's a director now.
Yeah.
And he has blockbusters without A-list actors, and that's
And
says
low
a lot.
budget. Low budget.
Yeah.
And I think that's like so it's so awesome hearing those type of stories because people always say, "Oh, I wish I had this camera. I wish I had this computer. I wish
Yeah.
I had this program." And it's like, no, like everything is here. As corny as it sounds, like everything is here. If you have a concept, just do it.
Right.
Just do it. Or if you feel like you are not there yet, continue working on it. Because Jordan Peele, like he waited for his opportunity to happen.
Yeah.
And when he got in that like golden key, and he said, "You know what? I'm going in." Like.
He really went in.
He went in. He went in. He was
Yeah.
working on that thing in his basement forever, and he said, "Yo, I already got the script to Get Out. Let's get it."
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It goes crazy.
And he has a Twilight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Prize
God.
him.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if he's not the writer that he's just
He's the
the
producer.
Yeah, he's the executive
He's the
producer. And I'm
executive
glad
producer?
he's not the writer because listen, that first episode was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Dang,
it was
really?
like
It was-
Well, hold on.
comedian or something.
Comedian. It was pretty
What
bad.
happened? Tell me about it.
Bro, it's bad.
Really?
It's
Although I
it's
heard the
bad.
second episode was pretty good.
I did hear that, and I
Yeah.
have the second one queued up to
Yeah.
watch later. First episode was very good.
Just tell me about it.
Terrible.
It's hot.
All
I'm
right,
not gonna
so-
watch it.
Concept, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Execution,
Terrible.
no.
What was the concept?
Nope.
All right, so it's this. This comedian. He doesn't want to give up his integrity with his jokes, which are they're smart, funny jokes, but no one laughs at him, right? So he's like bombing everything. So after one show, he's at the bar, he's getting his drinks or whatever, and he meets a legendary comedian sitting across from him. He's like, "What?" He's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Dude, can I have some tips or stuff like this?" And the guy's like, "What would you like?" He's like, "What is it to you to make these people laugh?" He's like, "I'll do anything to make them laugh." He's like, "So you do anything, like give up your integrity and like you'll just give up anything?" He said, "Yeah, like because I want this to stick. I want to be successful." And he said, "Okay." And he shakes him hand, symbolizing deal with the devil.
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next show, and he was telling him, he said, "No one wants to hear your smart jokes. Dumb it down. Relate to them.
Right.
Talk about their daily lives, stuff like that." So the next show, he says his normal lines again. No one's laughing. And then he sees his girlfriend's nephew in the audience, like on his cell phone. He's like an 11-year-old kid. And then he starts saying, he said, "It's really hard." And like the jokes are terrible. He's like, "It's really hard to talk to my nephew when he's just staring through his phone. People are erupting in laughter. The kid's laughing. Everyone's just like laughing." He's like, I try to take him somewhere, and all you see is dee, 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 like texting, and like people are crying,
Just
laughing.
really bad jokes.
Yeah,
like-
it's just really bad jokes,
Yeah.
right? And then when he said, "Oh, thank you and good night," the kid disappeared, and he's like,
What?
the kid's gone,
What the-
and he goes to his girlfriend. He's like, "Hey, have you seen? Joe was at the show. I can't find him. Where did Joe go?" She's like, "Who's Joe?" He's like, "Your sister's son." He's like, "My sister doesn't have a son." So every time he was using people to sell his joke,
Oh.
they were completely erased from
history.
Oh wow.
And he was doing it at first to erase bad people, but then he was getting caught up with it where his girlfriend's boss was like pissing him off, and he hated that he was
It's
sometimes
like a
at the
Death Note
department.
sort of like.
It's almost like Death Note, right? So then
Wow.
he was like, "You know what? I'm gonna make my girl, not sister's boss, his girlfriend's
So when he
boss."
I'm sorry, man. You're doing a great job of
Yeah.
recapping this. When he makes a joke about somebody, they disappear.
they
Yeah.
disappear.
Okay.
Like after
You
the
know
show.
After
then
the
he
show,
started
when he
taking-
says "Thank you, good night," and the show's over,
Alright.
they're over.
So then he
Okay.
stared making jokes about people he hated to erase them,
Right.
but also to get a
Right.
laugh.
People
He started
and bad
making jokes
people,
about
like-
himself.
So and bad
Good night.
people. So and then there was one of the comedians at the spot killed a mother and son drunk driving. So then he did jokes about him.
Wow.
And then once that guy erased, the mother and son never died.
Oh.
So he was like, "Oh, this can be
Wow.
used for good."
He brought them back.
Right.
Oh,
So-
wow.
So he brought them back, and then
This is a cool concept.
Yeah.
great concept, right? And then there's another part where him and his girlfriend, they live in a nice apartment. She's a lawyer or something, like she makes a lot of money. He
Right.
lives with her, and her boss visits them sometimes, and like he hates it, so he makes a joke about him. Next, you know,
Oh, I can already.
Oh
yeah.
man.
because the
can
boss
already-
is gone now, she
doesn't
never
have the
got that
job.
job.
Wow.
So she's a waitress, and they hate each other. And their relationship was saved because her boss paid for their vacation to Paris, and it saved their relationship.
Oh.
So now that never
Dang.
happened. He's homeless, and his girlfriend hates him and stuff like this. And like,
So when does the change happen? When he goes to sleep, he wakes up and his life is different?
No,
Like,
it's
how
the
does
show's
he know?
over.
right,
instantly.
like right where he
Oh.
gets out
instantly.
of the. Wow, that's
instant.
crazy.
The change happens instantly. So as soon as he's done the
Dang.
joke, poof.
Wow.
And then it's just like
That is a really
it was a
insane
great concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Now, why did it suck?
Yeah, right.
You know,
because
tell us the
dude,
bad-
just the
writing.
writing,
How-
and it had
how I
such a
put it
good
off.
actor because the Twilight Zone has all A-list actors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has I can't remember his name, the Indian guy
Aziz
from
Ansari?
not Aziz, the Indian guy from Silicon Valley.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about because I saw
Oh.
the thumbnail of the
Yeah,
episode.
I
know
can't
who-
remember Kamanji.
You're not
Oh.
talking about Hassan Minaj, right?
No, not Hassan Minaj.
Because he's been everywhere.
I can't remember his name. If you see his face, I'm like, oh, him.
Yeah.
And I can't remember his name. He might. It's easy. I think he might be Pakistan actually, but I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah. And there was other couple people in there. Tracy Morgan. He was the devil, the comedian
he was
devil.
the big time
snap.
comic.
Yeah, he was the big
Yeah,
time
that's dope.
comic.
That's
That's
dope.
actually cool because he is
Yeah.
a big time
Yeah.
comic.
and it was like it was crazy, and it just I was watching it. And it was 60-minute long.
Oh.
And I'm like, dude, this sucks. I was like, this is terrible.
This is hot garbage.
yeah.
And I'm like, they have such a good and Jordan Peele, because if you watch the Twilight Zone before, the narrator, no one sees him. He's this ominous figure, and he'll just be like, Dan gave up everything that he
Yeah.
wanted
But it's his
in order
voice,
to
Yeah.
right? Jordan.
yeah, and then you'll
Yeah.
see him like at the bar, like talking, like narrating, setting it up.
Yeah.
And when it first happened, I'm like, all right, let's ride.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, oh my god, this sucks. But I heard episode 2 was
What a
good.
letdown. Yeah,
right,
but then
dude,
episode 2.
Dude, Google it. Type in the Twilight Zone, the comedian on Google.
Yeah, I know.
anywhere.
I know they have the first episode free to watch, and I
Yeah.
could see what.
Yeah, and it was like, and people were like, wow, Twilight Zone's off to a rocky start. It probably should have just stayed where it was
Yeah.
at.
Here's the question I want to ask all you guys: Is it going to be better than Black Mirror?
Oh no, I don't
See,
think so.
now that's hard.
See, now
I
that's
don't
hard
think
because
so.
Black Mirror also has some really shitty episodes, too.
That's true, though. Yeah.
I think
They have some poor ones.
I
in there.
think it would definitely have to. I would definitely have to see later on what Twilight Zone turns out to be. But I feel like Black Mirror. The reason why it's so, it's such a different breed is because it literally it mocks us. Like it
Right.
mocks us. Where I
Yeah.
feel like the Twilight Zone doesn't really mock us. It just mocks like a concept, and that way it's like a little fun.
That's
So
actually
Black
it.
Mirror is like Black Mirror.
it brings in like relative
It's
events and like you know.
yeah, like my
just how
girlfriend's
people are.
afraid to watch it.
Really?
Yeah, like I have to
Show
watch
can
it
get
with
kinda
her.
creepy, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
bro.
the first.
It's essentially, it is like hard.
I got,
Yeah.
I
It's
It's
got
like,
creeped
it's
out.
like Get Out.
It really does mess with you. Yeah. For
I got
sure.
creeped out in the Bandersnatch episode.
Oh,
where if
yeah.
you take the acid and he starts looking at the guy and like his face is all crazy.
Yeah.
He's like,
What?
want me to jump? Just tell me to jump.
Yeah,
and
and his
you're like,
eyes are like super big.
he's
I was
like-
like,
Yeah.
he's like,
whoa.
oh, jump. He's like, okay.
All right,
Yeah.
and then he just jumps, no hesitation
yeah,
at all.
Yeah.
I was
Kills
telling
himself.
my girlfriend. I was like, hey, you killed him, so you're a murderer now.
she shows that up.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to be a murderer. I'm like, no, embrace it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's you now, so this is life.
This is the choice you made. Live with
I
it.
Yeah.
think that's the.
difference.
I feel like that's the difference. I feel like Black Mirror is like.
And I just remembered another reason why the Twilight Zone is off to a rocky start. It's behind a paywall. You have to have CBS's All Access subscription to watch it.
Oh wow.
That's why I
did
haven't
not know
seen
that.
it yet because I don't have.
Because when I watch it, I'm like, oh, CBS must be paying the fines for all this cursing and all this.
Right.
Because they were dropping everything.
Wow.
I was like, all right, I'm with it. And then I realized, I said, dude, this is behind the paywall.
That's
So
crazy.
you have to have that online subscription because it won't come. It doesn't come on
Yeah.
TV.
Everything's
It's
on like a
only online.
subscription now. You got to pay for it, which is like.
What do you think would actually? I feel like something that could actually kind of step up to Black Mirror is Love, Death, and Robots.
Yeah, well,
I
Love,
feel
Death,
like
and
It had a
Robots-
very Black Mirror vibe,
You
especially with
must
the
have
intro.
loved that, man.
Yeah, I've
When you
watched it a
watched
few
that?
times. I
Yeah.
watched the whole series a few times. And yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I loved it.
You actually know a couple people who worked on it.
Yeah. I follow. I've been following some people on Instagram for like a year or two now, and then I found out like a couple weeks ago that they actually took part in like Sonny's Blade, like the opening cinematics where it's like coming down in the city and stuff. Like I follow the dude who worked on that scene, and
That's wild.
like I follow a few other people who worked on like lighting for a few episodes and stuff. So that's pretty cool. And then I looked real into it. Found like the studios that worked on all the episodes and stuff. But I feel like Love, Death, and Robots is only similar to Black Mirror in the fact that it's not.
It's an anthology.
Yeah, and yeah, is that when like all episodes are different?
Yeah.
That's like the only similarity in my mind. But also the fact that like it all takes place like in the future, sort of, with just like
Yeah.
Black Mirror. If you know.
Also, the intro and outro reminded me of Black Mirror too. How
Oh
it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, with black
I was
and
waiting for
white
the screen
and,
to
like-
get cracked.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's what I was waiting for. I'm like, is it gonna happen? Like, the screen
Yeah.
gonna
I feel like
crack?
Love, Death, and Robots, the underlying theme for all the anthology episodes is sci-fi in some sort
Yeah.
of capacity,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
For Black Mirror, it seems to be technology.
Oh,
I
yeah.
True,
think
yeah.
people, but I feel like technology is like the one consistent in all
Right.
the episodes.
Mhm.
And I feel like for Twilight Zone, it's exactly like you said. It's like concepts. That
Yeah, it's
you know,
concepts.
like
Yeah,
love,
it's the
fear.
concept.
And
they focus
so
on that, really.
So what I saw the review for the first one was like a 2 out of 10. The second episode was like a 10 out of 10.
Right.
Word.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
it's
wow.
all,
That's
it's
what I
all
heard.
different writers.
Mhm.
So it's an anthology
That's
series. So it's
interesting.
all different acts.
Wow.
I think what's his name? The Russo brothers have an episode, and also James
Wow.
Cameron has an episode.
Oh,
on
wow.
Wow.
there. So they like
They're really getting some major
because
people to
they
work
got the
on.
This
budget for
Yeah.
it. They got
Just
the
buy
budget.
everything
They
on
got that
CBS.
daytime money on
Yeah.
CBS, and
Yeah.
then they got who doesn't want to work with Jordan Peele at the moment.
True. Yeah.
He's executive
Facts.
producing. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, he's a hot ticket right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Work with him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
But what was your favorite episode from Love, Death,
I'm
and
curious
Robots?
too.
Oh man.
I have two.
I
for
don't.
mine.
Yeah, I don't want to repeat too
I
much.
think-
'cause
I think
we were talking
ours are
about
the
before,
same,
but-
right?
Yeah. Probably the Aquila Drift.
I knew it.
Which
I
one
knew
Which
it.
one's that again?
That was the super realistic one.
Yeah.
He wakes up and it's like a spider looking
Yeah,
thing.
we talked about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that one was
super-
nuts.
No,
that one was
we
nuts.
spoiled it on.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It's like we spoiled it 10 times.
And then when you saw the
So-
spider, and I was like, "Oh, that one actually made
Yeah.
me nervous." Like
Yeah.
that. Gave me
Even the way the
anxiety.
spider came out, it looked like her, and then like
I think
it morphed into the spider as it came out of the shadows and stuff.
I think like the beautiful thing about it, and I know you guys talked about it like,
No, it's
like
cool. We
a
talked
lot
about
of
it again.
times. Like
Yeah.
I feel like one of the most beautiful thing about it, and it's gonna be like super cool later, like with our collaborations,
yeah.
is the understanding of suspense and how they built it up through usage of cinema, even though it's in 4D.
Mm-hmm.
Like when she's like, "You don't want to know what I
Yeah,
am. You're
yeah,
not ready."
And
for
I
this."
wanted to
Well,
know.
the fact-
I'm
the
like, I
fact
want to
that-
know.
Yeah.
The fact, it's like what Tarantino said. He said to build suspense, you have to build it as long as you possibly can, even when
Yeah.
you think it's long enough. Continue building it,
Keep going.
and like when
that's
they
what's
when
gonna
they
get a
built
reaction,
it,
you
man,
know?
like when it got closer to her eyes,
Yeah.
and it was like yo, and then boom, just
Brought it
Yeah.
back,
and it's like yo,
and you don't know
what
how it
the heck?
ends.
Yep.
You don't
Yep.
know where it's going. That's what
I loved
That's
it.
my favorite episode was, I think, either the second or third one, when the girl, she wakes up in the apartment, looks across the street, sees
Witness.
the murder, the
Mhm.
witness.
Yeah.
Bro, because it was like, I was like, is this on Unreal Engine? Because it looked
Yeah.
so crazy.
Yeah.
Because when they were running down the stairs, I'm like, so is that real?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that still like rendered?
Well,
'Cause
interesting
it
story
was
about that
crazy.
episode is that whole episode was rendered on a free program.
Nuh-uh, really?
Free. It's called Blender. It's free.
Damn.
So, dude, did they edit that on a video editing software, like to cut it together? But they made all the scenes in the render first. Like, how does that work?
Didn't you
So
say you
nice.
thought that they shot it first and then put it over?
Yeah, I thought that they shot reference material for some scenes, like the girl like slumping
They
in the
may
car and
have,
stuff, and then
yeah.
they just kind
Because yeah, like when they were like running down the stairs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not sure how that, but I know like the environment, like
Yeah.
100%
Bro, 'cause
was.
it looked nuts
Yeah.
when they were running down the
wild.
stairs and they're running like that,
Yeah.
and I'm just like looking at it, I'm like,
See
dude,
that
like,
It's insane.
that part
That
I
looked
was
crazy.
telling you I think is a technique called rotoscoping where you trace the character each frame so it looks so seamless. Like you film it, have a character running down the stairs.
when you say
then-
film it live action with an
live
actual
action,
person.
yeah, with
this
the
is what I'm
camera,
talking about,
and then you
yeah.
trace each frame of that character to animate it into animation. Just so it looks like real, like 60 frames per
Right.
second sort of stuff, like real seamless and fluid.
Yeah.
right.
I think that's what they did for the character animation, and then the environment they did all in Blender.
That's wild.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
That's wild.
But don't quote me on that. I'm just except
I mean,
except the
that's
Blender
that's
part
from
because
your
I know that for a
season die,
fact.
bro. Because when I look at it, I can't break it down. But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can break down a lot more
Yeah.
than I
Yeah,
can. That's pretty cool. So
it's very interesting how you know the process behind all that stuff.
And I'm really glad that like Netflix, I think they were the first. See, well, Apple's now doing it too, but they're taking initiative with like the creative aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if someone like think a couple years ago, like an anthology of like animated shorts, who's gonna watch that?
Yeah.
They put on Netflix just randomly, no trailer, say Love, Death, and Robots. You're like, what is that? And you see the first thing, you're like, okay, you saw 19 episodes.
Apple's doing its own original content too.
Uh-huh.
So wait, we have Amazon, Netflix, YouTube Red.
That's
which
what I'm
is-
saying. Everything's on like a subscription now. Like
Yeah.
Amazon.
Oh, and Disney, don't forget that.
Disney has their
Yep.
stuff.
Disney
they got
Plus.
some big ones
It's gonna be
coming
a fun
out.
They got the
couple of
Star
years
Wars,
later
man.
on.
Yeah.
And that's what pissed me off because Disney has a Star Wars live
Yeah.
action show coming.
So TV's not gonna die, bro. It's gonna
No,
evolve.
it's gonna evolve.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be on a different
It's,
screen.
it's Charmeleon right now. It's gonna be Charizard, dog. It's gonna be
Bro,
That's
but,
what
but here's
Mega
the thing.
Charizard.
Yeah.
But here-
Mega Charizard,
Yeah.
Mega
Here-
Evolution
But here's
Charizard.
the thing. I'm gonna say this. Apple and Disney got the bags.
Yeah,
that's true.
100%.
that's true. Yeah,
They got them
some,
endless bags.
Yeah,
And, and Disney said first thing coming to Disney Plus in I think September, October, the live action Star Wars.
Jesus
and they released
Lord.
the cast, and I was like,
Oh, it's a Star Wars show, right?
who's on the cast?
they
It's
got
gotta be Finn, right? It's gotta be the cast.
no.
Oh.
It takes place between 6 and 7 during those years.
Yeah,
That like 30-year period. The one guy is from I forget his name. I don't want to say Michael Pena. He's from Narcos.
I know.
Narcos.
I know who you
Yeah,
mean.
I
Yeah, he
think
looks
the
like
lead,
Michael
the lead,
Pena.
the
Yeah.
lead Colombian cop,
Mhm.
and he's also in Game of Thrones. He was
Mhm.
Oberyn, so he's the lead for the show. And they have a couple other people that I recognize, but I don't recognize the name.
Mm.
So that's crazy. And Apple released. They got all original shows. Oprah's having her own show.
Wow.
The guy from Game of Thrones, I can't remember his name, Jason Momoa, is going to have another original. No, his show from Netflix, which is a Netflix original, just got bought out by Apple, so now it's going to be an Apple show.
Dang.
It's too much.
Frontier.
They're just
Yeah,
playing
I was
shuffle
gonna
with
say the
each other.
Frontier or
Much to
something.
watch,
Bro, but the thing is, like, Apple has the bags.
Yeah.
And see, I feel like Netflix might have screwed up because Apple was like, yo, we'll buy you out.
True.
Apple last year said, we'll buy you out.
Netflix
And Netflix is like, nah, fam. And now Apple's like, okay, bet.
I think
Now
Apple's
we'll
winning
take your,
because there's
movies and stuff.
3-point-something billion Apple devices in
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, whoop, just like Apple Music, it's already on your phone. Now you
Netflix got a
have
little
Apple
cocky.
Apple TV
Yeah.
on your phone. They're like, just pay. You get 90-day free trial. After that, $10 a month. You're like,
Well, I
I'm not
heard
gonna say
yesterday
no.
that Netflix is raising their prices again for
Yeah.
yeah, now it's going up to 15.
But they're gonna
Yeah.
add like 200 something shows and TVs. And I'm just like, yo.
But here's the thing with
what?
Netflix. They had a lot of garbage on there.
That's true.
That's
In the
true.
beginning, dude, Netflix had some pretty bad stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like
Yeah.
now that Netflix they got their rep up, they're getting
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, they're getting into
Yeah.
the anime game, which is massive.
Yeah, they're getting real into
dude,
the anime scene.
I'm not into original Netflix animes. Like I gotta say,
Yeah, but they're
I-
bringing
I-
Evangelion.
I
liked-
would say
I
the
liked-
only. I would say the only.
That's what I'm saying.
one-
They got the bag.
The
They're
only
like, yo,
one-
people want this because you can't watch it anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the
Devilman Crybaby.
Devil May
Crybaby.
Cry? Yeah.
Phenomenal.
I liked
Crybaby.
Baki. I liked Baki.
I liked
Even though
Baki
that was
'cause
like
it was
3D,
Baki's
they
wild.
pulled it off.
Baki's
It was funny.
wild.
Yeah.
Baki was funny.
That
Yeah.
was
Because
wild.
it's super wild. Like,
What
I'm
is
like,
it about?
yo,
I didn't even see this.
Bro,
muscles
just-
on muscles that grow
And
other
boxing.
muscles.
Yeah.
Bro, is this the one where the dude like just punches
Pulls up.
everybody and jumps
Yep.
out the window?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
He,
I've
he
seen
does
that
like a
one
kick
scene.
and like the
yeah.
cigarette butt just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
bro, it is the definition of run my fade and pull up. It's on site.
Yeah.
it's
that's
it's
exactly-
literally the definition of that.
I might try that.
And the
now.
guy got his arm sliced off with a karate chop, and it was such a perfect slice. It even cauterized, so it didn't. He didn't
Yeah.
bleed out.
It's like super like
that's the stuff I love.
Out
And
of
then
here,
the
you know?
guy,
Yeah.
in case of a situation happened like that where he loses his arm, he had a connected to his bone was like a little sword.
Oh, of course.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
I'm
'cause-
I'm struggling to get through Kill la Kill right now. I started watching it just.
I'm off it, bro.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I started watching it just because I'm a Studio Trigger fan. And I love the visuals, but I just feel like the story
Well,
is
they got a new
so-
show
Not
coming
fair.
out.
Yeah.
I saw a trailer for it. And I forget what
It's
the
a
name.
movie. That's what it is.
Is that what it
Studio
was?
Trigger's making a movie. So the stuff that's coming out this year is they are remaking the Pokemon Mewtwo movie.
Wow.
Yeah, I seen that. I
And
seen the
it's
trailer.
It's all 3D animated
Yeah.
too. So which
Yeah.
is really really cool and it looks awesome. New One Piece movie is coming out. One Piece Stampede, and then that Studio Trigger movie is coming out.
Right.
So there's gonna be a few cool things coming.
Right.
And then Dragon Ball Super is gonna return in July.
It'll be
seems to be.
crazy.
Oh, it's not over,
nah.
No.
It's still called.
Come on, man. He has to verse gods, man.
bro.
What do
They
you-
know how
said it
many
was
gods
over.
is left?
The new arc's been going on, but only in the comics.
Bro,
So
it was-
you should
I
probably,
don't keep
Ready?
up with the comics.
Ready?
Well,
It was.
then, yeah.
It was.
You-
I
Season's
stopped
July.
reading manga.
Drew, go ahead.
like,
Say the C word.
while
It
ago,
was
man.
what? Dragon Ball Super was canceled.
It was.
Yeah.
Damn, I
Canceled.
thought it was canceled.
It is canceled.
It's
Damn.
coming back.
I think it's under a different name.
Well,
though.
I know
they're
they
doing
have
that.
the,
That
Drag-
BS.
Studio
Super,
Period.
Super Dragon Ball, whatever, which is like Dragon Ball
Heroes.
GT and Dragon Ball.
Heroes, yeah. Dragon
yeah.
Ball Heroes. That's to promote the.
Remember
game
that guy I told you I
Yeah.
follow on Instagram who like did one of the Boruto episodes?
Yeah.
Well, he did the intro for the new one. It's fire. I gotta show you after the
It's
show.
Yeah.
It,
man.
it's fire.
Dang.
So before, because I want to move on to talk about the Joker trailer. But before I do that,
loved it.
I'm not sure if you guys saw it. But before I do that, I have to ask you, because we asked James last time, what's your favorite anime, man? Or favorite 3? Everyone can give their top 3 right now. I don't even care. I got to include everybody in this question.
Bro, I got a whole list of like 120 animes I've seen.
Facts.
Bro,
I
You
would
telling
not
me to
matter
pick
of fact.
3 of them?
Yeah, wanted to whip out my phone and just
exactly.
look
Bro,
at
I've
the
seen
list real quick.
so many.
Yeah.
So many.
So right now, probably Mob Psycho.
Dude, that
Really?
one's awesome.
Yeah.
What?
That one is awesome, man.
I hate
The
it.
second. Have you seen the second season?
No, but my
The
buddy, my
second
roommate
season
keeps telling me to watch the
is-
second.
is
Fire.
really what's catching me right now.
That's your
because
number 1.
Emotions.
Maybe next to
Oh, yeah.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh my
You
god,
like JoJo's Bizarre
I hate
Adventure?
that too.
That's one I can't get behind, bro.
Really?
No, it's
I res-
funny
I respect
because
it.
it's they're just like they're just standing like this and they're just boxing and just standing there like
Yeah.
that's a funny concept.
Yeah.
But bro, it is so obscene
It
and
is
just
flagrant.
No, no,
exaggerated.
I love it.
Yeah.
What's
It's
your
great.
third one?
My third one, man. Oof. I don't know, man.
Is this your all time or is this your current?
Is it Boku no Pico?
Probably in the last like couple years.
Yeah, we were
Couple
talking about
years?
that last
Couple
time.
years, yeah.
James on
Okay.
that one now. That one's cool, man.
Yeah.
I guess My Hero Academia.
Oh, okay.
Safe.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that's,
Respect.
that's like a safe bet, you know. That's
Yeah.
like,
But when it's good, it's good.
yeah,
It's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's and you know that's what makes it worth it, you know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll
So
go.
that's
We'll go
probably
you
good.
next. Are you gonna go your all time or current?
I can do all time. So my all time favorite is Space Dandy. That's number 1.
Yeah.
That one's
That's a
just
good one.
Unbelievably fun.
Yeah.
super cool. It's
And the animation's great too. It
It's
points.
incredible.
yeah, I just like the aesthetic of it. I
Yeah.
like how he's kind of like Johnny Bravo. And
Yeah.
I love the
Right.
music, man. So
Yeah.
it has like all 3 of my favorite
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
I love that. And then I'd have to say Evangelion Neon Genesis, man. I feel like the end,
Evangelion.
when you watch the end of Evangelion movie, you're gonna like really.
I got my
question
mom
life.
into the
Alright.
movies. I got my mom into the movies.
You let your mom watch that movie?
yeah.
End of Evangelion?
The Evangelion. I've never seen the series, the original series, but I watched all the movies, and she watched like the first like 2 or 3. How many movies are there?
There's 2. There's one called Rebirth that just recaps the whole series.
I thought there was like
We might be thinking about another anime, bro.
no, it's
the-
Evangelion.
Okay.
Yeah, it's for sure Evangelion. Because they had it on Netflix like years ago, and that's when I watched it. And then they took it off.
Freaking Shin.
But I got her into that, and then Akira.
Oh, Akira? Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your third?
My third, this one falls into my top 10 TV shows, but definitely Cowboy Bebop, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just like how that show is about how people deal with loss. And like the ending is sad, but it's very philosophical, and like some people never get over loss.
Yeah.
Like that's what
That's
the
true.
Cowboy Bebop means, and it's just like really interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, what about?
So you're gonna
what
go
about
your top 3? Or you're gonna go current?
I'm gonna go of all time, like the ones that changed me.
Here, okay.
Like, Naruto.
100%. 100%.
Naruto. I grew up with that,
Yeah.
literally.
Shonens are cool because you grow up alongside the character.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
exactly.
Yeah.
One Piece is my favorite manga, not my favorite anime. But like, I feel like Luffy sometimes, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I relate to it because I grew up next to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, and like just the way the characters are done in Naruto, I'm like Kishimoto. I can just tell he had
put
so
a-
much passion
Yeah.
Yeah.
into it. Shout out to Rock Lee.
Yeah, you're right.
Team Neji.
Most
It
character
was.
development.
I would say like the one that gets me like creatively is Monogatari series. Man, and this would be really good, really cool for you because they actually blend. What makes that studio interesting is that they blend 3D environment.
Yeah. Well, I watched like two seasons.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the way they blend the environment with animation is just so incredible.
Yeah.
And everything else about it is just awesome. And I would say another one is, I think I want to say Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, that
Not
I mean,
Bleach or Durarara.
Nah, I would say if I had the whole Bleach and Durarara, I like the manga more than the anime
Okay.
for Bleach.
Talking about
Durarara
Bleach,
is
yeah.
just not there to where it can compete
And not
with
Samurai
space.
Champloo.
It's the same thing with Samurai
Yeah,
Champloo.
okay.
Like I just feel like Cowboy Bebop is just like
Yeah. If
Yeah.
we extended the
Yeah.
top 5, it would be in there.
Right.
100%,
Yeah. Right.
100%.
Yeah. No, I got you.
yeah, Cowboy Bebop. Man, I remember I first saw it and I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah. The
This
first
is
episode was
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
It
I
just
was
hooks
like,
you.
yo.
So good. What about you, dog?
So Naruto, obviously. That's a given. That's
The
a given.
OG.
OG.
Yeah, yeah.
2, Samurai Champloo.
Okay.
Because he'll
Mugen, man.
Mugen, hey, that's like you said, Luffy. I feel like Mugen might have been. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? 3's tough. That's where it's like I'm going through so many different in my head. That's like I don't know if it's like a current favorite or like all time. But 3, I'm having a hard time picking a third one. If I had to, man, see, this is where it gets tough. I don't want to take too much time thinking about it.
Okay.
I want to say it's either Brotherhood, Full Metal Alchemist. It's either that or Darling in the Franxx.
I've never seen that.
I've heard of it, I think.
Never even heard of that.
Yo.
That doesn't sound like an
Yo.
anime name. That
Yo.
sounds like a band from
Listen. Yo, you'll question things.
You'll question some stuff.
That shit is crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And the Bakemonogatari is a classic.
Yeah.
I love that one. So I might, just for to end the conversation, I just might have to pick that one.
Okay.
Because it's crazy.
Yeah.
Wild.
Oh, no. Actually, no, I'm going to change Kisnaver.
Because
Kisnaver.
I thought it was always
Kisnaver.
pronounced Kisniver.
Or Kisniver.
Kisniver.
Whatever.
Yeah,
it's
whatever
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
called,
yeah.
Bro, the emotional weight on that show, like you said, it's about like loss and stuff like that, and like how to forgive and like forget. That's a heavy show. That's a
Yeah.
good show. That's a good show.
You know what show messed me up for a while? Is Yuno Gasai.
Is that
You
when
know
they
this is-
cry?
Or I think that's what it was called.
Is that the one with the girl?
The girlfriend's like insane.
Oh, with the
No.
axe.
Have you seen it?
With the axe.
Dude, I was the second
Wait,
time I went
which
to
one's that?
Japan.
This one with the axe. The girl with the
Yeah,
pink
she's
hair.
got the pink hair.
She's
She's
freaking
like
crazy.
Oh,
Got the
she has
black-
glasses?
No, I don't think she does have glasses.
I don't know.
think so. If
I
not,
haven't
they
seen it
fall
in
off all the
years.
time.
It's only like like 12 episodes or something.
Yeah.
This is the one I'm thinking about. It's a town that everyone says is haunted, right? Am I in the right premise here?
Oh,
No.
you're thinking of
I'm thinking of When They Cry, but I don't know what the Japanese
you're
name
thinking
for that one
of is that the one similar to like
This is the torture one, dude. Where they,
yeah it's
It's like a girl with green hair and like
Higurashi. I
Oh,
think
you're
that's
thinking
called.
of Higurashi,
Yeah,
where they're
that-
all
that's
just
just- that's
torturing
just-
each
I
other.
watched
Like
that
the
when I was in
fingernail?
Japan, and I had to stop watching because I
Yeah.
was like, "This is
Why, is
messing
it
me up
crazy?
right now."
Yeah.
Have you seen the new show, what's it called? Promised Land? Or
No, no, but
Paradise,
I know-
Paradise Land? I forget what.
I think it's called Promised Land
Yo,
or Promised
that's gonna-
Neverland.
Promised Neverland.
Promised
That's what it's
Neverland.
called.
I've known about that for a while before the anime came out,
Nuts.
like a few years when the manga was
That
out.
show is nuts.
Yeah, that's pretty.
But
messed
I might
up.
have to change my third to Your Lie in April.
That was sad, wasn't it?
Sad.
Yeah.
Sad, man.
I've never watched that just because
I've
I know
never
it was
heard
sad.
of these ones.
Yeah, that's another band name.
Yeah, right?
It's all band names.
Sorry, guys. I saw him at the Fillmore.
Should be like a study, like band name or anime.
Yeah. What were you about to say about that anime though? Or
That just messed me up for a while,
Yeah.
dude. Because like, I mean, it's hard to explain because like you guys, I don't know if you guys seen it, but like, the girlfriend's just like a psychotic and she's killing everybody, and then
Yeah.
this dude, I don't want to like say any like spoilers, but like, he like in just the way it ends, like
Yeah,
it's not on a happy note, kinda, you know.
Yeah.
It's not on
Yeah.
like the happiest.
And what's this called again?
Yuno Gasai, I
You know,
think. Where's
Gasai.
the-
She's
Yuno
very
Gasai.
well known. Like
I need to
she-
see- I need to
she-
see the picture of
She's
that.
the
I
one
might
that
have
seen it.
I just
sparked
can't remember.
the craze about having a crazy girlfriend.
when I think
Yeah,
Crazy
yeah.
Pink Hair, I think Haruko from FLCL.
She's like
Yeah.
the
That's what I
Yeah.
was thinking about.
she
Classic.
was like the original
That's
like
on my top 10.
Yandere, I think.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Yandere. Yeah,
Sandere,
Sandere or something like
You know
that.
what we should do? We should do a March Madness bracket of anime.
That would be sick.
Dude, Berserk is the one that effed me
Well,
up.
here's the thing, man. So
The manga effed me up
manga's a
because-
different thing. Actually,
yeah.
all right. So my top manga, One Piece is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Ball is my second, and I think Berserk might be my third, man.
Oh
So-
yeah,
Yo, Berserk is raw in the
raw.
manga.
Yeah.
it's raw. It's crazy.
Like, I've seen some things in the manga. I'm like, this is
Yeah,
a
Berserk
little
is,
too heavy.
Berserk is like that's what you give to somebody like, man, comics are for kids. It's
Yep,
like,
exactly.
here you
Slide
go.
that over.
So what you think?
They come back the next
yeah,
day.
you hand it to him like this. What'd you say?
They grow a beard.
They
They're
grow
aged.
big.
No, you know it's another good. So if we're talking about manga that the anime doesn't do justice, you ever see Dead Man Wonderland?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my
The
god.
manga-
That's another one I got
Yeah.
my mom to do.
Dude, your mom. I can't believe your mom watched End of Evangelion, bro. If I watched
still gotta
End
watch
of
it. I
Evangelion
never
with my
watched
mom,
it. Yeah.
she
Evangelion,
wouldn't watch
never watched it.
anything,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
He's pretty intense.
He's been telling me to watch this for so long.
You never
and I-
seen Evangelion?
No.
And he's such a big anime head too.
Because you know why? I hate mechs.
Oh, really?
And Darling
Dude,
in
it's
the
not even
Franxx is one of
about
my
it.
favorites.
That's true.
I know.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah,
not
but
like
what's
that.
that?
sort
What's
of
that
mech.
one? What's that one with the guy who has the thing with the eye and it's
I've seen it.
Code
Geass.
Code
Yeah.
Geass.
Geass.
Oh no, I actually haven't seen
Hate
that.
it.
But
Is it the
yeah, I
animation
can't-
that you hate?
Yeah, hate it. We're just gonna say hate it.
Gasai.
Have not seen her, Sheldon.
No, I've
girl
never
right
seen
there.
that.
Yeah, it's my girl.
I
She
never
out here
seen
killing
that.
people. No,
Yeah, she's
I would say
Because whenever I see a mech on the
Vagabond?
screen, whenever I see a mech on the
Vagabond?
screen,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, this
Is
is
that
just
one the
driving me crazy.
boxing one that just came out?
no. Vagabond is the
Box.
samurai one,
Oh.
where it
Oh,
follows
yeah.
Musashi Miyamoto
something like
or
that.
Miyamoto Musashi.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like a its own story with
Damn,
other
none of us said
takes
you,
of it.
none of
It's
us said
crazy.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Nah,
That was a good one. I've
That
you
was a
haven't
good
seen
one.
That's
that,
a
have you?
classic.
yeah. I've seen Yu Yu
Okay.
Hakusho. Yeah,
Okay. I didn't want to discredit you.
yeah. You,
Don't-
hey,
don't-
man,
don't-
listen,
don't
man.
trigger on
It can
me.
get kind of hostile. We got nunchucks right here.
There's two things I don't like about Yu Yu Hakusho. One, I
Oh.
feel like a lot of anime is premised on like the spirit world, and I think that's a
Yeah.
cool trope, but
Mhm.
it happens too much. That's
Yeah.
one. Two.
It is about overplayed
That's
now.
also from the 80s and 90s, though.
Here's the thing, though. I feel like the whole series is very like tournament based, and it's very similar to Dragon Ball. Man.
True,
Was it
yeah.
before or after Dragon
Dude,
Ball?
Dragon Ball came out in like 82, 83.
Dragon Ball's
Hakusho's
old.
also old, though.
That is
Yeah,
true.
we're
But I
gonna-
think Yu Yu
we're gonna
Hakusho
look
came
this
That's
out
just
like
because the
mid-90s.
animation's
You think it was
garbage.
mid-90s?
enough.
Like 94, 95 or something like that, I want to say.
We're gonna put this to bed.
Well, you look up when Yu Yu Hakusho is. I'll look up when Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
is.
you know, fun fact. So you know Sailor Moon.
Yes.
The creator of Sailor Moon is married to the creator of Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yu
and
Hakusho?
I
Hunter
did
x
know
Hunter.
That's
that.
what's up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did know that. My
1990.
buddy was telling me.
1990 for Hakusho.
Okay, look it up because I don't
Yeah,
have any internet. here.
DBZ, I think, is Dragon Ball might have been
Say
83.
Dragon Ball, not DBZ. So we get.
Yeah, right.
he also made another anime.
Hunter x Hunter.
No, about it
Classic.
was like about schoolgirls.
84.
I think I know what you're talking
You
about.
know what
yeah.
I'm talking about,
yeah.
man. It's super weird.
It's Oh my god.
Oh, it's not
I can't.
It's not the Magica.
Not Samadoka Magica. It's
oh,
something
God,
else.
Madoka
Remember
Magica.
that?
Jesus
I
Christ.
don't know what he said. But
Madoka
You
Magica.
know, you don't know Madoka Magica?
Yeah,
I-
that's
like I
pretty
said,
That's
much-
man,
magical.
I watched so
Completely
I watched so
obliterated.
much. You would have to show me. It's at this point where I only know them based off the character. You got to show me a picture of the character, and I'll be like, yeah, I seen that.
Okay.
You ever heard of
Kami no Itori?
Kami-sama no Itori?
Yeah, yeah.
I love how the podcast now is just like, you ever heard of this one?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This one's crazy.
You guys
This
ever
was
heard of
crazy.
Wait, what is it called? My
But
bad.
it's called Kami-sama no Itori.
No,
Those
and
two-
it's-
two
I need a
series,
picture.
right?
You show me a
It's-
picture, I'll let you know if I've seen it.
It's just super fun and crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's
They
this
need to
thing
make 'em
pops
anime.
pops up in a classroom, and it's like
Is this the alien one?
That's
where
not
he's
a
like
death.
Oh, the yellow
Yep.
guy?
No.
no, it's the
It's not death classroom or whatever.
Death Classroom?
yeah, it's not.
Classroom
Oh
Death
yeah,
Room?
it's not that
Something,
one.
yeah.
It's the there's
Assassination
this. It's
Classroom.
like
Yeah,
a,
Assassination
yeah,
Classroom.
it's like
not
this
that.
weird thing with a face, and it says, it yells. It's like let the games begin, or like something like that.
It's to do with the long hair, right?
No, it's like the very first chapter.
Oh, okay.
Where the people in the classroom, basically everybody in the school later, has to play this deadly ass game, and like apparently you have to like dodge these air bullets, which are like shotguns, and people are getting blown to bits. But it's funny. It's like really
It's
fun.
funny.
It's super funny. Like the games.
It
that,
is good how it is, like how it's written.
Yeah,
and-
like the games that are taking place with the main characters and all the other
they
characters.
play a dodgeball
Yeah, they play a
with
dodgeball
like
Hand
like a
grenades.
cat or something.
like bowling balls, sort of.
Yeah.
And you got like these like what was it, twins? who were
Yeah.
just bombing them.
Yeah.
And they were like taking people's heads off and stuff.
Like,
Like-
people are like, "Oh, this game, I'm gonna survive this." And they
Yeah.
play. Oh, there was this one. It was like, it was jump rope, and the rope is like a laser. So it's like whoever's team can like continue jumping wins, and if you stop,
You get your leg
your
lopped
whole
off.
thing is getting ished. It's getting like you're gonna get to your kneecaps,
Chopped off.
and it's gonna get messed up. Yeah, it's crazy.
Dude, this is pretty wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That's probably one of the
fun, though.
last
It's a good
mangas
read.
I've actually read until I.
They just finished it.
did they?
They finally came out the final chapter. I was like, wow,
What
that's
was in the
depressing.
second series, Kami-sama no Itori 2?
Yep.
Okay.
We out here getting
Anime
crazy,
vets, bro.
Nani?
Oh, and Gantz. Gantz is the
Gantz.
craziest
I
one
saw
I've read.
Gantz.
See
I
now, I've
watched
only
Gantz.
seen the Netflix animated movie.
Read the manga.
Yeah.
That was, I would say,
I knew that
where-
really messed with your mind a
It
little.
Have you
did,
guys
it
seen
did.
Children of the Whale?
I've never
on
seen
Netflix?
that.
No.
That's another band name.
Netflix original. It's dark.
Is it
It's dark.
Children of the Whale? I'm gonna. Have to,
I think it's called Children of the Whale.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
yeah,
It's an anime.
it's heavy.
Huh.
A lot of kids. It's like kids getting killed by grown adults.
Oh
That's
wow.
what's up.
Oh wow.
That's
Yeah.
just
think
that's
think
Jap- that's
think
Japanese
of
anime right
think
there.
of Lord of the Flies.
okay.
Think that.
That's what we're gonna be, man.
And but when I'm telling you, when you guys watch Darling in France, one of you is gonna message me on Instagram and be like, "Yo, I don't know what you just had me watch." That shit.
But I hate you now.
Getting blocked on all socials.
You're right. This is like one of the greatest things I've ever seen, and also one of the
Mhm.
most hated things I've ever watched. Like it's one
I
of
saw
those.
this one series and I can't think of it, but it was like, I'm not trying to like be that type of person, but it's one of the few. I wouldn't even say few, like one of the one or two enemies that actually made me cry in the end, just because of how it ended. And it was like a short series, so it wasn't one for long. It was like part of like a summer lineup that they do, you
Right.
know. And there's girls like she's like a robot or whatever, and she gets put down in the end. You know, even though she falls in love with this dude and stuff.
I know exactly what you're talking
You know,
about.
like
It was like
Ferris
the
wheel?
romantic one.
You
Yeah.
know, Ferris wheel in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, you were a little punk for that. Yeah, you shouldn't have cried. What's up with you? I didn't cry.
Now that I know what it is.
that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was a newer one. But not really newer, but
Yeah, it was like
sounds
2014, 2015. I want to say.
What's it called?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Love, Death, and Robots.
That sounds so familiar.
Where did you watch it? You didn't watch it.
Kiss
on-
Anime.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. I thought you like might have called it Toonami or something like that.
Oh nah.
All right. That's interesting.
I
yeah.
could probably look at it on my anime list.
My
right?
anime
Dude, I have a
history.
my anime list too, man. I have so
Yeah.
much stuff on my watch list. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I have so much.
You
stuff
should see
on
my
watch list.
Hulu.
Yeah.
That Hulu list is big.
Yeah.
That list is big, and I'm just like, damn, I
Pack the
haven't.
anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what's it called? Hulu partnered up with Funimation.
Yeah.
Oh, word.
And they also get all the Crunchyroll stuff. So I'm
Wow,
just like,
that's
they got
crazy.
both. And
Wow.
got
I'm
bread.
gonna have to check that out because I
Got
just
anime
realized
bread.
I have Spotify
Yeah.
Premium and now I
Anime
get
bread,
Hulu for
And you get Hulu.
for free. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't logged in yet though.
I always feel
You should,
torn with
bro.
like watching the stuff I love because I know I love it and watching
Mm-hmm.
new stuff. Like I always feel like semi guilty when I'm watching something I've seen before, even though I
Yeah.
love it. I'm like I could watch something new. Like I
Yeah.
could at least try something else.
I tried to rewatch Naruto in its entirety.
What?
It's hard.
It's
Oh,
too,
yeah, it's
too
hard.
long.
It's
Yeah.
Too
hard.
long. It's like, Naruto, you're a freaking dummy. What are you doing, man?
You know, I
Even,
got
even
to
if you cut the filler out.
I cut the fill
It's
out,
still
and I
long.
got to
Still
I got to the Kage Summit, and I was like,
Yeah.
I know I'm close to the end, but I can't.
I can't.
I
put
literally
through,
can't.
Yeah. Well,
gets-
especially if you're counting like catching up on Boruto as well.
Well, I know.
I can't stand that show, but
I
I
know,
watch every. I
know,
watch
I
every
had to-
week.
I just stopped watching it.
I watched the scene from Boruto where like the what is it? It's like the tram car like dislodges from the line and
Oh,
smashes
yeah.
into his head
Yeah.
on like the thing, and I was like, "What is
Oh,
going
yeah.
on here, man?"
Bro, it's so
It's very
poorly
childish.
written.
Yeah.
Is
and-
did
I had to
Kishimoto
stop
write
watching it because of
No,
that.
he just
and,
he
like,
just
it's a
gives
little
the green
childish.
light. He just gives the green light
Yeah.
it?
for it.
Oh, so you didn't write it.
But it's so childish,
Yeah.
bro.
And I
The
hate-
episode I stopped watching was when they were like they had a whole. I don't even know if it was filler because I don't think
The
I
whole
wa- I don't
thing's
think-
like filler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
the
when,
manga's
it was like they were
crazy.
doing the coloring book stuff.
Yeah,
With
man,
the-
that
with
that
the
shit
little
that shit
girl.
was
It just
ridiculous.
looks too childlike.
And I get what
Yeah.
they're doing. I understand that they're trying to build in the
Build
time
up for yeah.
because the manga is crazy.
Well, yeah.
I got questions about Boruto though. So as far as Kishimoto's involvement, does he do the manga and just not the anime?
He
No.
doesn't even do the manga.
It was his assistant. He does the manga.
They're
Yeah.
letting wow.
So he literally just gives the green light.
He
Yeah.
gives a green light. You know, guess what? That
So
manga
it's story and art on
canon.
the manga, or does it say story by Kishimoto, art by this guy?
it says supervision by Kishimoto.
Yep.
Oh wow.
He doesn't touch it.
And the art
Not a
itself is
bit.
it's kind of boring because some of the panels it's like when people are fighting, right? It's almost like Dragon Ball Z, like where the background's kind of there's no background moving. It's just the lines,
Yeah.
you know, showing that they're in
Oh,
motion.
Well,
yeah.
But
he
like,
changed it. So there was
Mm-hmm.
backlash because he changed all the characters. They all look different when it first started, and then by chapter 5, and it's a monthly too. So by chapter 5, he went back to Kishimoto style because it was like a widespread backlash.
Oh,
They were
wow.
like, dude, like you gotta change.
This doesn't even look like.
It doesn't even look like
Yeah.
it. So he changed it, and the last chapter that I read, like last month, I don't think this month's came out yet. I was like, "This is fire!" Like it.
Oh,
it
yeah,
was,
Naruto
it's
looks
really
dope.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. But the thing is, because it's monthly, the
Yeah.
show is
yeah.
is every week. So
yeah,
they
yeah. It's got
they keep doing these, and they say it's not filler because the way that the manga's going is that when the manga and the anime both started, it's in the future. You see Boruto covering his eye.
Yeah.
He has Sasuke's sword, and he's fighting this guy.
Yeah,
And he's
all
got like
all the faces are on the
tattoos and stuff.
Yeah,
the
and,
village are
and he's
obliterated.
tatted up with this curse
yeah,
mark.
wow.
It's like
Yeah.
this curse mark tat, and the
he's
village
like-
is destroyed.
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna send you where your father is. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you did not just kill Naruto.
Yeah,
You
right.
Get that
That-
guy out of here. I
yeah.
don't care what you
And
talking
that's-
about.
Yeah, like a tear comes out of your eye.
Yeah, right.
Bro,
It's true, man.
Bro, they started off with that, and I'm like, yo, that's a heavy cliffhanger. And then
Yeah.
Boruto opens his eye. He has a Byakugan.
Yeah.
He has
Yeah.
not the Byakugan.
Spicy.
He has the Tensagon.
Yeah.
the one that Naruto
I'm like, oh
fought
God.
the guy. I can't remember his name. Tenerelli.
Yeah.
So, and now it's just like everything leading to that point.
Yeah.
But they're so far in between
Yeah,
where
it's
the
really- it's-
manga chapters are.
So
They're not
is
even
it-
following them. It's like 2 different paths at this point.
Yeah.
So is it
I
sort of
got
like
you.
how Tokyo Ghoul was?
Yeah.
Kinda, but Tokyo Ghoul was good.
Yeah.
Like,
I-
it was
The anime
I-
got a lot of backlash.
I really didn't
enjoyed
like
it.
the second.
I
Yeah,
kind
I
of
liked
liked it.
Are you still watching, or did you finish it?
No, I stopped the
Okay.
the recent season like midway.
Yeah,
Okay.
when he was
the last season
Walking
that
his
I
friend
think that
for
just
12
ended like a
hours.
little while ago.
just walking his friend.
Well, no, because
got
there
them
was
playing in
a
the
there was
background.
a new season that came
Yeah.
out like last year or something like
I
that.
got another one coming.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think it
that's-
finished it because the
yeah.
manga's still going.
No, I think they just finished it.
Did they?
Yeah,
they
because
finished- they
there
finished-
was a gap midway of the
Yeah.
season,
Mhm.
and I finished the first half, but I stopped like when it started back up to like the second half of the series. I stopped like after an episode or two.
Yeah, shout out to Nomu. He was best character.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I hated Attack on Titan. I hated the
Dang.
first season, and then I watched the second season. I was like, oh, I was
Yo, the
tripping.
manga.
I didn't
is
even finish the third
insane.
season.
I was like,
Yeah.
and
Manga is
then I started reading that.
insane.
I read the whole manga in a day.
Well, that's the problem.
Caught up. I caught up in one
Yeah.
day.
Attack
Yeah.
on Titan, it's like it makes you read the manga.
Yeah.
Because the anime takes so long to
It
produce.
does.
True,
And,
yeah.
and there's so many questions.
especially after the
But
first
the
season.
quality of the animation's crazy.
That's my point. Is
Yeah.
that the
Exactly.
quality anime? It's the same thing with like the Boondocks. Like
Mhm.
the Boondocks is, and that's not an anime, but it was made by an anime studio.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's just like that season had like 12 episodes in it, but like
Mhm.
it would take forever to make. The same thing with Attack on Titan. We had that one season for the longest time. Same thing with One
We had
Punch
one
Man.
season for
Yeah.
One
3
Punch
years.
Man
Yeah.
season 2 finally comes after like.
But it's
3
not
years.
even by the
But
same
different
company.
studio,
Is it
Different studio. Yep. Not
Really?
Yep.
and it doesn't look the same.
really?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Does
didn't
it
know
actually
that.
not?
Yeah.
It. Did you
There
see
was-
a trailer?
Yeah, there was some.
Trailer did not.
I
look
don't
good.
know.
Genos looks a
Dude, the
little
first season.
weird.
Yeah.
First
I didn't
season
like
was
that
insane.
show.
Because Mob Psycho is same company.
Same company.
Now they're focused on Mob Psycho
Mhm.
Yeah.
and not One Punch Man, and they sold the rights to a different,
different company.
All I know
Yeah,
is
interesting.
I just want Blade Runner.
It's coming.
The anime, please.
It's coming. I
Well,
think
they
it's gonna
came
be-
out with that short, which
Yeah.
was like an anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
because I
Shinichiro
bought the-
Watanabe.
yeah.
I bought the 4K for 2049, 2048, whatever it's
Yeah.
called,
Oh,
and
man.
it comes with that anime short in it.
Yeah, yeah,
And it
and
was
plus,
fire.
plus all the other ones that Ridley Scott's like son took part in,
Mhm.
with like the Batista
is
short
so
that he was part
Yeah,
of.
man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did not know
It was like
that.
a whole collection,
Yeah, dude.
which was dope.
That movie became it cemented a spot in my top 3 favorite films ever.
Oh yeah,
yeah, same
for
here.
sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like after when it came out, I saw it in IMAX and Chamonix. Bro, I was blown away.
yeah.
Like
I
that
can
was
still recall
crazy.
when we first saw it in theaters.
we
I was
were-
like, "Yo, Jay, this might be my favorite movie."
You guys watched it together? You saw it together?
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
saw it
yeah.
together.
That's super
yeah.
cool.
Score, the cinematography.
Oh,
I was
the
like-
art
Every-
direction,
Like
everything.
when I tell you that when I heard Zimmer's soundtrack in the theaters,
And
oh my god,
Yeah.
that noise he was doing.
yeah.
and like I was like, yo, we actually saw the behind the scenes of how they kind of did it because they had like a $300 million budget.
Yeah.
And yeah, $300 million, and it showed when you see the behind the scenes. It's
Oh,
like,
it really shows. Yep.
yo, this is no joke.
And it's
Yeah.
crazy because the film bombed.
But like that's
Which
the
is-
thing.
which is
but
nuts.
like,
Yeah.
but I feel like that is going to be like one of those films where later on people are gonna be like, yo, this was fire. What
Bless
the
you.
heck happened? Bless you.
Because what happened was it was advertised like, okay, so it's a 3-hour and 10-minute movie.
Yeah.
That's hard to put people in seats. It's
Yeah.
rated R. Hard to put people in seats.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And because you know how we like to see trailers not show much, they didn't show much,
Yeah.
and people were like, "Well, they didn't show anything, so I don't
They
really want
didn't
to
really
see
pique
it."
their interest. Yeah.
But to me, I'm like, "Oh, I said you
yeah.
get like a cyberpunk."
Yup.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
That's
all I
that's
needed.
what sold me.
Like-
as,
like-
you
That's
know.
all I needed.
That's what like one of my goals is. One of my dreams is to do a sequel to Blade Runner and implement something where I can make it absolutely fun, but also still, if not
Hold true
carry
to the
more,
roots.
true to the roots, but carry more weight
Yeah.
than the other two films.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there is something there
Yeah.
to
There's a
have
bit more
people.
potential.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
also that movie has the best sound design I've ever heard.
it's incredible. Dude.
Oh yeah,
It's,
that along with like
blows my mind.
Annihilation.
Oh my
That's a phenomenal
Oh,
movie. You ever
Annihilation was
seen that?
crazy.
Yeah.
The way that movie ended
whole
was
scene.
wild.
Yeah.
That movie's nuts.
Yep.
man.
Yep.
It's gorgeous. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude,
Yeah.
And
we need to make movies.
Yeah.
Man.
and what's it called? The reboot of the Alien movies.
Yeah.
Prometheus and the second one. Covenant.
Covenant.
Or no,
Mhm.
yeah. Isolation was the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Covenant,
Alien's
Covenant
probably
was
in
crazy too.
Top 5 favorite franchise
But that's
of
the
movies.
that's the
Alien,
thing. Like, I think like the reason why I'm like super excited about like us and like our journey
Oh,
going
yeah.
forward is that I feel like with both of our arts, we know the combination of making something visually cool.
Yeah.
Like people when they see it, they're like, "Yo, this is awesome." But then like for people who want to dive deeper into it, they can. Like it's
Yeah.
open for interpretation.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
a
For
gift.
sure.
You know, so I think that was the one thing that Blade Runner 2049 just missed out on. Like, I would
Right.
appreciate it. Jake would appreciate it.
Mhm.
All of us would appreciate
Bro,
it
when you saw
because
the
we're artists.
like even when the car was flying the city and you heard
Yeah.
Han's score to
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and the theater was rattling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm like, fam, this is crazy.
But see, like,
Even Inception, his score in Inception is by
Oh,
far
yeah.
one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
it's incredible.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Interstellar,
I
yeah.
listen to Time when I'm
Time
working
all
and
the time,
stuff.
bro.
Yeah.
That song's
Time,
crazy.
Time all the time.
Time makes me cry every time
Yeah.
I listen to it because I know what scene it comes on in the movie.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
with
it's funny
and at
'cause-
the end,
Mhm.
you see the fucking dreidel spinning.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm about to start welling up.
You just like
Like-
crying listening.
Yeah.
The funny thing with that is, each track on the soundtrack is named after the scene.
Exactly.
A track called Cornfield Chase.
Right.
Yeah.
Happens in a cornfield chase,
Mountains
like-
is still
Right.
my all-time favorite from Zimmer.
Which movie?
For Interstellar.
Interstellar.
Yeah, when like I feel like the brilliance behind it is that you hear the ticking of a clock and it keeps that
Yeah.
consistency.
So what scene?
This was the
The
scene
scene went
to
on the water
um,
planet.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
when
it
the
was
clock
that
was
when they
ticking.
saw the waves, the mountain waves.
They were like, "Why are the mountains so far?" And he's like, "That's
Yeah,
not a
That's
mountain."
not a mountain.
I just
Yeah.
And I hear that.
I just
Yep.
Yep.
Like-
I've always loved that idea that like somewhere out there there's a planet where just one wave just
But see, that's the
circles.
thing. That's the
Yeah.
You know how
beautiful thing. There
terrifying that
is.
is?
Yeah,
Like-
There
there's
is.
gotta be, yeah.
There, like I forgot who said this, but someone said the universe is so big that anything you can
And
actually
it's endless.
think of
It's just ever
is
expanding.
literally possible.
But how
out
can you
there.
prove that, bro?
I have no idea.
Well,
See,
NASA. Well,
We just got to
NASA-
create it. I don't
NASA
know.
I'm
said.
taking scientists' word for
I
it.
think NASA tweeted out yesterday that we might have the first picture of inside of a black hole or approaching a black hole
Oh.
releasing
If I
soon.
see it, will my mind explode?
There's a type
Just
of
by looking
horror
at a
that's
picture of
called
it.
that. There's
Oh,
a
what?
horror that's called that. There's like a horror genre that's called that. I think Junji Ito. I was
Yeah,
telling you
well,
about his
I was,
work.
I was gonna say,
And there's a style of horror where, and I would love to see it in film. I think a few films have done it, where humans, when they see something and their brains can't perceive it, it's almost like a sense of
like
horror
literal
that you
being
just
mind-
can't. You
mind-
can't
Isn't that
understand
kind of what
it.
Bird Box is based off of?
Yeah, it's kind. Yeah, it's
Literal,
exactly like
yeah.
that. Like where when they see it, they're like.
They can't
can't
process,
process
it, so
it.
they like go crazy.
And
or
there's a
whatever.
term for it. I
That's a
wish I
really
knew what the
interesting
term
thing.
is, but like I love stuff like that because
yeah.
I think a few films are able to capture it, and the way you capture is that you don't show
What it is.
what
yeah.
it is.
And know what's crazy about
incredible.
Christopher Nolan and Hans Zimmer because they have that partnership where Hans Zimmer scored every Christopher Nolan film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Why can't Chris just give us sequels? Like,
Yeah,
and
I know.
I appreciate that he's like, yo, you get
Man.
one. He's like, you get one,
but that's it.
bro. He gave us Inception, Interstellar, Dunkirk.
He just gave us Batman,
Uh,
right?
He gave
Yeah,
us
yeah,
Batman,
yeah.
and he had the sequels. But
Yeah.
like, even Memento,
Yeah.
what was it called? The Mentalist one? Not the Mentalist.
Is that me?
That's you.
I'm pissed.
I forget what it's called. It was with the magicians.
Oh,
What the hell was it called?
Christian
Now
Bale
You
was
See
in it,
Me?
right?
Christian Bale was in it.
Yeah.
Not Now See Me. Not
I
that
know what
one.
you're talking about though. Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called.
Because I seen it too. Yeah.
That's gonna drive me crazy. He does no sequels.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. One more time. What's the premise?
I'm saying like Christopher Nolan does no sequels to any of his films.
What's the premise of the one you're trying to think of?
I
It
think it
has
was like
Christian Bale in it. It's about two magicians.
Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale.
Yeah, and it's kind of like
I've seen
sort of
this
like
one.
Inception
Yeah.
in the way that it
They're
it's
trying to.
kinda
There's two comedians
plays
trying
out.
to outdo each other. With
Yes.
Jokes. Well,
Yes.
with not jokes, with magic tricks.
Yes.
I remember seeing this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the one guy pulls off the ultimate trick at the end.
Was
Well,
it
he
with the-
dies and
with-
comes back.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember. I know exactly
You know
what
the
you
one,
guys are
right?
talking about. I just can't
What
think of
is
the
that
name.
Came
movie
out
called?
like
I have it
2010
at
or
the
something.
house.
Well,
I have it at my house.
I just turned my phone off. And my laptop. I'm sorry. Today is not my day. It's the day
I got
I
it.
got it. I didn't turn my laptop off.
How about you
I have
turn
no
the laptop
Wi-Fi on my
off?
laptop.
You guys seen
got
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
One of my favorite
Same.
movies.
Yeah.
Everyone says that the book is like phenomenal and that the
They have a
movie's
book?
like,
Yeah.
I think the
book's good.
movie
Came out in 2003.
holds
wow.
a pretty good like comparison to it. I feel like it's
Prestige.
It's just so first
The
off,
Prestige
most
is what it was. Yep.
Prestige.
oh yeah,
That's
the
what it's called.
Prestige.
Yeah.
South to Snowpiercer too. That was a low key phenomenal
What was
film.
it? Chris Evans?
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
Chris
the
Yeah.
Evans,
train,
Captain America.
eating cockroaches. But
Like,
like
movie was crazy too.
yeah, like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is like one of those films that are just so fun to watch, but then you realize how deep it is,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh word,
Yeah.
that's what's up.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I wish it came out like around this time because I would love to revisit that
It's
movie.
a fun watch.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
And it came out in like 04.
it's just too dated for you.
Yeah,
Like watching episode 2 of Star Wars and being like, wow, this is
Bro, no, yo, episode 1 of Star Wars dated. You can't go back.
yeah.
Yeah.
After 2010,
Well,
you
the
can't watch it anymore.
80s versions.
Yeah, but they were practical effects, and that kind of holds up. Like,
yeah, I guess, yeah.
the
yeah.
CGI and
And they still sometimes do that even in the new Star Wars movies. They
I still
hold
can't
the
get over
practical-
like Obi-Wan's body disappearing when he got hit with that lightsaber. Every
He
time I
says, "Strike me down now." What was the line? He goes, "Strike me down now, and I'll live forever."
yeah, something
Pretty
like
dope.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Fire line, not
Fire
fire how he
line.
went out.
Yeah,
Fire line, and he just went. zoop.
Yep. And I was like, yo,
like
where's
the
your
one meme where the
body?
dude's like,
yeah, but
It's
you see the edit point because you see him standing there, then they go like this, and then you see a hard cut, and he just moves
Yeah.
and he just falls.
And Vader's the way he swing. I will
Yeah, he-
roast Vader's swing.
Bro, I'm about to stand up and
Yo, dude.
He kept the lightsaber mad close to his stomach.
Yeah.
He goes,
And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, how is your defense so like at 100%, and
Yeah.
you're over here
you're moving
like,
like this.
Bro,
yeah.
his swing is when like you're out really drunk, and then you go pee in the backyard.
yeah, exactly.
Like, that's how a swing was. You're just like,
He's
But
like,
dude,
oh,
think
I
about
can
them
do
like
this.
shooting that scene in 2019. Like it would be super slow mo, and then like
Yeah.
the lightsaber hits his face, like it dissolves into particles. And
Well,
it
that's
go away.
what the-
But it's
Bro.
1960s. All it is.
Yeah,
well, that's what they did in the
Jump
last.
cut, he's
That's what they
gone.
did in the Last Jedi when
that was a
Mark
fire
Hamill,
scene.
I forget what he
Yeah.
said when he was like,
Unbelievable
Listen,
scene.
man. Unpopular opinion. I like that movie. Continue.
did too.
I enjoyed
No,
it
I
too.
like
yeah, no, I
movie.
enjoyed it.
because when Kylo and Ren got together and were putting those knights of whatever they were called down, that's one of the best fight scenes in Star Wars. I don't care what.
Oh
anyone
yeah,
says.
Hey,
the
I really do think that Darth Vader scene is probably the best scene, in my opinion, in
Which
Star
Darth Vader
Wars.
scene?
Just in Star Wars, like that ending scene in the Last Jedi. If I like the
he's,
way
he's talking about another movie.
the
man.
Rogue Wars.
oh, the
talking-
Rogue,
you're talking
yeah,
about
it's
Rogue
Rogue
One.
One, Rogue
Rogue
One.
Oh, Rogue One, yeah, yeah.
Dude,
He's
the
just
build up.
menacing. All you hear is
Yeah.
and you see the
And then people are
sabers.
trying to like escape and
He
stuff.
lifted some dude up and sliced him and kept a straight
Just kept
Yeah.
walking,
beeline.
yeah.
I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
and he wasn't doing this.
And it was awesome to see him after so many years, you know.
Right.
yeah.
It was a long
Even
time.
though it
when
is
we
a
saw him.
prequel, like it's with like
Bro, you
these
just
high
see them, they're
definition,
like,
you
yeah,
know.
take the floppy disk, and he's just,
right.
Yeah,
just coming in.
It
just
goes
like,
through the
yeah.
door. I'm like,
That
yo.
was the coolest part of the scene is that he didn't stop once.
Yeah,
like he was
he
just
just kept
he was
going.
just he didn't
Yeah.
run either. There's
showed-
no need for him
Menacing.
to run. There's no need for him
It
to get there quickly.
showcased.
But when
the power
when
of
he threw the
Force
guy up
Yeah.
and was like, Shh,
and why
it's
you
like,
can't mess with Vader.
yeah, just because why Darth Vader is who he is.
I have like I told you about the whole
The,
Star
Yoda.
Wars thing.
The concept you had?
Yeah,
with-
it's like the
with Yoda.
sages of the Force.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Where
Is this
Um,
canon or is this just a theory?
this
you
is a
have?
concept like
it's
he had,
like a
he's had
concept.
for a while.
And before George Lucas, please don't go yet. But like if I ever get to meet him, I want to tell him this concept, and it's basically a brief summary of it. Is when the Force was literally like holistically used as like process of meditation, almost like taking forms of Buddhism.
booty.
Buddhism.
I'm playing to the booty this weekend.
You ever heard of the Force from the booty? God damn.
And we ain't talking a fart, you did?
I'm just thinking like some pimp like dressed up as a Buddhist monk, like
You're right.
I study Buddhism.
Yoda's
I
over
got
there.
this.
He's like balancing on his like pink
Yeah.
cane.
Dude, yo,
Bounce on the
but like,
Yeah.
like the lightsaber wasn't invented or anything
right,
like
right.
that,
Uh-huh.
and there was these sages where they mastered the art of the Force. Like even the video games of the Star Wars, where he's able to stop a whole like starship from crashing.
Oh, like the
Yeah.
Force
Force
Unleashed and
Yeah, the
stuff?
Force
Yeah,
Unleashed.
Force
I'm like,
Unleashed.
I want to see the Force almost used to its like greatest potential.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're flying, they're able to literally move like almost mountain peaks. Like these are sages, and Yoda's one of them. And one of the sages, and it's kind of like the birthplace of the dark side and the light side. This kid that grows up with this power, like the first time where it's not learned, it's just naturally given.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like trained by the sages, but he one of the sages kind of starts manipulating him in terms of like, yo, you can use your power a lot more. You don't have to hold back on it. You can use it for good, because he grew up in poverty. He wants to save people, but in that process of saving people, since he hasn't controlled it yet, hurts other people in the process. And the sages are like, you can't use this anymore. It's not for protecting. The force is the force. You just can't do anything with it. And he gets frustrated.
It can't be like tainted.
Yeah, and like this one of the sages are like, they're just trying to hold you. They're scared of your potential, all that good stuff, and goes into this whole conflict to where that's where I just had this one scene in my head of him versing all the sages, one of them being Yoda.
Yeah, that's dope.
And like a younger Yoda, and like believe it or not, a young Yoda
Still looks like
yeah, right. But like that's where like the force of lightning kind of comes from, like because of his anger and his confliction.
Oh, sick.
And that's where like the dark side kind of evolves from that, because after the whole fight, he kind of tries to escape, but he then dies, but then the force of his life force kind of goes into the universe, and hence the dark side and the light side. And that's how, like that's like a story I really want to tell, because I feel like the fight between like these people, there's no lightsabers.
And it puts a whole different mood on like something that would be affiliated with Star Wars.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's
There's no
like
there's no lightsabers.
there's
so
no
it's just
lightsabers,
all
just-
like
Yeah.
so dope.
damn.
But,
yeah, it would
George
become,
Lucas
like fairy
plays.
tale like fighting or something like
Yeah.
that. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, like they're slicing mountains
Yeah, right.
just in half. I'm
yeah,
like,
just
yo,
with
what?
like their minds.
Yeah.
Yo, that's dope, man.
Yeah,
that has to be a part
Yeah,
of it.
Yeah.
I totally want to do something
Disney
like that.
listening to the podcast, like,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
the idea.
Exactly. I'm like, this was said by James Adams, and I'm gonna make sure I get all the properties.
Patent it.
How tight would you be if you saw that in a movie like 10 years from now? Like
I
you're
w-
married, you're with your kids, you take them to like
imagine
Disney.
he's in
Oh,
a theater,
oh, yeah.
he's just like this.
So hold up.
Hey, Lucas.
Yeah, did you listen?
Yeah, right. I walk into Disney like that Darth Vader scene. I'm just like,
just unrelenting.
And they're just sitting, and they're just sitting there like this.
yeah, right.
You got like the secretary like at the front desk, and you just like pick her up and
The
like
final
slice her.
boss is Walt. He comes walking out with his head.
He's been
Just like
reanimated.
the
Yeah, right.
He's Vader. He has the most. Like he's been cryo freeze.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dude,
Boba
we've gone
Fett's-
so far off the rails.
Yeah. What is this anymore?
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
Oh my
it's,
god.
it's 6:10, so I don't want to hold you too much longer. We've been going for like
Yeah,
over
okay.
2 hours.
Mhm.
I think those are pretty good though.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
And I just want to thank you for coming on. And
Oh no problem at all.
Next
Thank you
time-
guys for having me once again. It was
Yeah.
it was
Mhm.
definitely dope.
we had fun, man. And next time we come in, I definitely want to dive into more of what you're doing and like computers and specs and all that. But,
Yeah.
Until then, man, just tell everybody your Instagram and just
Sure. Jei-Kobu, JEI_KOBU on all platforms. My website's Jei-Kobu without the underscore. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And he makes amazing stuff, so go see.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Sorry to end it so abruptly. I'm dying. This,
Oh, no.
this is episode 63 with Jei-Kobu
Peace.
and James and Sheldon. We'll see you
As
next time.
always.